evening, one and all. Live chat 108. I can't believe these numbers. 108 coming to you from Brooksy's Base Corner here in London, here in the UK. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome. It's good to have you along. We're talking bass guitars, bass effects, bass amplifiers, bass accessories, bass strings, anything to do with bass. This is the place to do it. The only regular bass live chat on YouTube, as far as I can find. I can't find any others. I've been looking. I can't find any. It looks like it's just us, gang. But you're very welcome along. Hope your bass playing's going great. Hope life is treating you well wherever you are on the planet. It's good to have you along. So we're, for those who are thinking, why is he doing this on a Tuesday? It's normally Saturdays. No, we've moved back to Tuesdays now. Tuesday evenings, because teeth in would be a good start. Back to Tuesday evenings from this point forward until we get the other side of Christmas, and then we'll do some Saturdays again. But for the meantime, we're here on Tuesday evenings. So come on in. You're very welcome. Got any questions about bass guitars? You're looking for some advice, maybe some information on how to set a bass up, how to build a pedal board, how to do your first bass audition, all of those sort of questions. So if you are looking for some help, looking for some answers, a few pointers, I'll do my very best to help you out as far as I can. If I don't know the answers, I'll open it up to the floor, to the fine people that we have here on Brooksy's Base Corner live chats, and maybe one of them can help you. Sorry, I was a little distracted there. I was sending invites out to various people so they can join us by video later in the show. 2 messages already. Dawson from Canada, good to see you. Starting the disco party early. Fabulous. West Fork, good to see you too. So anyone who's not been on here before, this is the video window. Directly below the video window, you'll see a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you could give the video a thumbs up, it's the most important thing you can do to help me, help the video, help the channel. It helps to push the video within the YouTube algorithm. I don't ask for subscribers, but thumbs up I will ask for. So if you could give the video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to share the video out to social media, email, websites, and please leave comments. Leaving a comment is really important. If there's something on the video you really like or something we talk about tonight and you'd like to leave a comment, then do. If you're watching the video after the event and the live stream is finished, leave a comment. I can come back to you. As soon as I get a notification from YouTube that you've left a comment on the video, I'll respond to it. I'm pretty good that way. West Fort, yes, thumbs up, just like a slap. Very well put, sir. Well put. I just need to put something on this video and I need to check the stream health. So just bear with me a second. Where are we? There we are. That's the fella. That one there. And we're going in there. That's good. Good start. So we want that. That's all cool. The analytics are there. Right. I just need to put this little beauty on here. So just bear with me a moment, gang. I just put a little poll up for you fine people. Bear with me a second. I've noticed I put this poll up, and it's a cheeky thing for me to do, asking if you're giving the video a thumbs up. Last week, we had loads of people say yes, they had, yet the number of likes were far less than the number of people that voted on the poll. Please just give the video a thumbs up. It's it doesn't cost you anything. You help me, you help the channel, you help the video. I thought that was a little cheeky. I'm being cheeky asking for the thumbs up, I know. But likewise, people saying, yes, they had given the video a thumbs up, yet the number of people that interacted with the poll was more than the number of likes. So, a bit odd. Being equally as cheeky. There we go. So feel free to give the video a thumbs up. I don't ask for subscribers anymore, but I will ask for thumbs up. So please, if you could help me, help the video, help the channel, that'd be fabulous. So if you're on the mobile app, live chat window is directly below. If you're on the desktop version, it's that way. Just put your insertion point at the in the comments box at the bottom of this live chat window. Put your question or comment in there, press send, it'll appear here in my chat window, and then I can respond to it. It's that easy. Stream health is good sign. Dave Angel, good to see you, welcome. So underneath the video window, you'll see a row of icons, thumbs up and a thumbs down. Please give the video a thumbs up. If you're going to give it a thumbs down, then please leave a comment. Let me know what you don't like or what isn't working for you so I can make the videos better. There's a share arrow there, so you can share this video out to social media, all of that sort of thing. There's a save window or save icon, so you can save the video to watch at a later date. Then there's a love heart with a dollar symbol in, that's called Super Thanks. Allows you to make a financial contribution to the channel should you wish to do so. You don't have to, the videos are free to watch, but if you like what we do here on Brooksy Space Corner, you want to help me, again, help the video, help the channel, any small amount is very gratefully received. So if you can, be fabulous. All the things you see here on the video, all the gear that I need to do the videos, make the channel, you're going to see a product shortly. I've got it right here. I've bought this out of my own pocket. I couldn't get the company to send me one for testing. They had no distributors or resellers here in the UK. I had to order this from the US. It cost me $16 in shipping, as well as the price of the strap. This is the strap that's going on the Warwick Bootsy Collins Spacebass. I'm going to show you later what the result is. I've been filming all afternoon. My office is a complete state. I've been filming for 2 days, new content, also doing some content for someone else, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But anyway, the strap finally came. I've already filmed a video that I'm going to be producing here on the channel, but you guys, being the regulars here on the live chat, you'll get to see this before anyone else, so I can tell you and show you whether this works to balance out the balance issues on the Warwick Bootsy Collins Spacebass. So keep watching, it's coming up shortly. Anyway, I had to pay for that out of my own pocket. So as you see anything here on the channel, we don't get any freebies, so everything you see is paid for. So there's the super thanks option, and you'll find that underneath every single video here on the channel. Here on the live chats, obviously we do this every week. At the bottom of the live chat window, you've got the chat box where you put your comments and questions in. Next to that, you'll see an emoji icon, so feel free to just give that a pummeling. That really helps project the video in the eyes of the algorithm, so please do that as well. Next to that, you're going to see a dollar symbol in a rectangular box. That's called Super Chat. It works exactly the same way as Super Thanks, but it only exists here on the live chats. And again, it's for those who wish to contribute to the channel. Keep the wheels of progress working. Keep the video going within the YouTube algorithm. It helps the channel, helps me. So you can contribute as much or as little as you wish. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch. But if you like what we do here on Brooksy Space Corner, you want to help, allows me to buy things like this, test them out. I can tell you without you having to buy them. It all comes in very handy. And also, as I've said on past videos or past live chats, all those who contribute via Super Chat or Super Thanks to the channel will get a one-off Brooksy Space Corner t-shirt later in the year. I'm going to use the old Brooksy Space Corner logo design. They're going to go on to a bunch of t-shirts. You won't be able to buy them in the store, in the merch store. It will just be for those people who have contributed to the channel and various retailers and distributors I know here in the UK. Spread the word about the channel. Now, in the description box underneath the video window, you will find affiliate links there. You'll find timestamps. So if you're watching this video after the event, you can jump between various sections of what we talk about here. I never know in advance what we're going to talk about. So as the questions come in and the comments, we go off on various bass related tangents. So there'll be timestamps in the description box, so you can just jump between those on the video at any point. Vissel, good to see you. Welcome. So then you're going to find affiliate links for vidIQ, StreamYard, and Top Cashback. You'll find affiliate links in there for the Bass Centre here in the UK. So if you're looking for one of their basses, Elite Strings, Bass Centre merch, or any of the other products in their store, you can help the channel buying through those affiliate links. And then there are bass retailer links for Thomann, Amazon, and Andertons here in the UK. I'll let you discover those at your own free will. But if you've got any bass related purchases, you can help the channel via those affiliate links. If you go through the purchase, we get a very small affiliate commission, but lots and lots of small commissions become a bigger thing, and that helps the channel to keep going. There's also merch links. So if you want Brooksy's Bass Corner caps, mugs, glasses, t-shirts, hoodies, baseball tops, all sorts of things. There's 170 products in the merch store, 15 different designs. Feel free to check it out. Again, if you want to help the channel but you want something for your dosh, then please, by all means, look at the merch. It's very helpful to keeping the channel running. So here we are. It's just gone 8:10, London town, UK, Brooksy's Bass Corner, live chat 108. Coming to you on Tuesday evenings now. We don't do the Saturdays, but there will be, I say that as though we're not doing anything on Saturdays. Yes, we are. There's going to be impromptu live chats as we go through the summer. So the Saturday gigs start heavily rolling in now. And rather than try and do a live chat when I'm driving and what have you, which made no sense whatsoever, you now get the regular scheduled live chats that we're doing now on Tuesdays, but you're going to get the impromptu live chats on Saturdays. So when I'm at gigs, I'll be filming the gig vlogs as I've been doing. There'll be some of those actually going up tomorrow. I thought I had a gig vlog ready to go this evening, and the live chat sort of beat me to it by about 25 minutes. I was that close from getting that video finished and out there, but it can wait till tomorrow. But you'll get 2 bites of the live chat cherry, so to speak, now. So all good. Vissel, your first tangent. You can have as many tangents as you want. That new alembic pedal, yes, nearly £1,000. Is it a thing? Nearly £1,000 because the rack mounts, the FX1 and the SF2, both of those brand new are £1,000. Basically, it's those rack mounts in a pedal. Is it a thing? It's a thing. I can't talk with any experience because I haven't played one yet. I will get in touch with Micah and see if she'll send me one for review, but to be honest, I may well just buy one. But if you like the alembic tone, you like what their filters do, again, you might want to try and, if you don't want to spend £1,000, look for a second-hand one on eBay or on the various bass forums and maybe try out that, because it'll be a bit better budget-wise. Couldn't you do a similar thing with the multi-effects? Nope. Alembic preamps are a thing of beauty, and only they sound like they do. There are other filter systems. WAL use them. Sorry. For 40 years I've said WAL, and suddenly I realised it's WAL, because it's named after Ian Waller, one half of the guys that came up with the WAL bass. I always say WAL, it's WAL. So WAL do a filter system, ACG do a filter system. There may be a couple of other manufacturers, but generally filter systems, it's not that they're rare, they're not, but not many manufacturers use them. But Alembic led the way. They created their filters back in late 60s, early 70s for the Grateful Dead, people like Stanley Clarke, John Paul Jones, Entwistle. And no, you can't get similar. I know the Line 6 Vari bass had an alembic setting, which kind of got you in a ballpark in a modeling sense, but you can't replicate an alembic because the way it's built, the timbers, the electronics, the design, the craftsmanship, all those elements, and the pickups, of course, and all those elements go into the overall package. I've got 3 alembics here. None of them sound the same. Now, all 3 of them have got a different electronics package. 2 of them, they may have similar pickups, but there is 10 years between them. So the 20th anniversary has its own electronics package. The Mark King Signature Standard has its own electronics package. And the Alembic Persuader is a simplified version of those basses. So no, they don't sound the same. And you're just not going to get a multi-effects patch that sounds like an Alembic. You can try, you can have a go at it. You might get close, but you're not going to get, it's not going to get on the nail. And even then, if you go to the Alembic site and go into the products section, you can start looking at all the different electronics packages. You got Series 1, Series 2, you got the Essence, the Elan, Distillate, which has been discontinued. You've got the Rogue. There are a couple. There's the XL, was an older model. Some of them share electronics packages and some don't. Different pickups have different voicings. The Alembic pickups on the Series 1 and 2 are actually single coil units. You look at them and they're in humbucker housings, but they're actually single coil. Yet the humbuckers on the 20th anniversary and the Signature basses are humbuckers. They're not single coils. So you can't get that element of the Series 1 and 2 package in those basses. So they sound totally different to a Series 1 or Series 2. So, yeah, you could try. Personally, I wouldn't have the time, the patience, or the inclination. I'd just rather go and buy an Alembic. Now, I know they're pricey, and Lord knows I spent years tracking the ones down that I've got. I just kept putting off the inevitable because I didn't know enough about the electronics and how they worked and the pickups. And every time you go in a store and play one, it was like, I can't work this out and I don't know what's going on. Once you buy them and you sit down and play with them at home, suddenly it becomes a lot more obvious what those basses are capable of. So I'd sit in the bass center and I twiddle the knobs a bit and think, I don't know what's going on here. Yet as soon as I had both of those basses here at home and I could spend 2 to 3 hours understanding the nuances that control panel gives you, suddenly it's like, oh, okay, right, now I start to understand. So, but it's not like you can just go down to a store and try one. Obviously now here in the UK, Bass Direct have become the UK distributor, but who knows when they'll have basses in. It could well be the ones they've ordered don't sell. I mean, Alembics are not cheap, but Bass Direct caters to an audience and a customer base that do have that level of disposable income, and I'm sure someone's going to take the plunge. But again, you know, you're looking at upwards of 10 grand plus. So if you're having one custom made, it's going to be upwards of 15, I would suggest. Again, depends what you're picking, what you're speccing in your quote. But once they've got them in stock, I'm sure people are going to be going in and playing them and suddenly realizing what an Alembic is about. I expect to a certain degree, once Bass Direct get the models that they have specced on and they come through, I would expect the second-hand UK Alembic market to suddenly go up, possibly again. I think people are going to see the joy of those basses. They're long, well, the full scale, long scale basses I've got are long and heavy. So if that isn't your thing, you're going to need to spec lightweight timbers, chambering, what have you, maybe a medium scale as well instead of long scale. But again, you want those things. If Bass Direct haven't got those elements in the basses that they've got on order, then in order to try them, you're either going to have to wait for more basses to come in, or you're going to have to go ahead and do a spec. But there we are. Visog, you loved Entwistle's Alembic tone. I need to add this. I'm watching it on the analytics page there. Let me add this. So you loved Entwistle's Alembic tone. Have you heard those isolated bass videos of Won't Get Fooled Again? Have I ever? So one of my abiding memories of Live Aid, as well as Queen and other things. Now, bear in mind, July 85, I wasn't a bass player, but my ears were tuned into it. big John Taylor fan, John Deacon fan, Mark King fan, all that. I was here, and Bernard Edwards, of course. And I was listening to what all the bass players at Live Aid were doing. Possibly the best bass tone of the day was Entwistle's. And when they played Won't Get Fooled Again, it was like a dog whistle went off. And I was like, I was doing something and it was playing in the background. I went, what is that? And it's Entwistle's bass. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, wherever, check out Entwistle's tone on Won't Get Fooled Again. It is punchy as hell. It's in your face. And whoever did the mix that then went to the BBC, that bass tone is huge. And it caught my ear. And when they re-showed like a highlights program that Christmas in '85, I recorded it. And I must have worn out that section of our VHS tape because I just played it over and over again. I wasn't even a bass player, but it was like something, it was like, Christ, you know, what is going on there? And there you go. You know, that was a thing for me. Some guy, good to see you. Checking in, very good. Subject matter, I laid down a solid, fast, boogie-woogie walk-in bass line at the studio last week. Good for you, sir. Well done. Subject matter tonight, it's not necessarily a subject matter, but I'm gonna show you shortly how this has panned out. So this is the zero gravity bass strap from Cable Free Guitar in America. I had to buy one off my own back and pay for the shipping, and it came on Friday. It was amazing. I ordered that late on Monday last week, and it arrived 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So literally 4 days. Outstanding. Well done, Cable Free Guitar. You're going to see shortly, I've already filmed a video, so I know the answer. You're going to see if that allows the Warwick Bootsy Collins Spacebass to hang properly and doesn't overbalance. We'll be getting to that shortly. Yeah, I'm very pleased you did that solid, fast, boogie-woogie walking bass line. Visog, Bass Direct had one that I believe went for 26,000. That's possible. I know Marcus spec'd a complete copy of Mark King's Quilted Maple Alembic back in about 2018, maybe early 2019. And I may get the timeline wrong, and you'd need to ask him. I think then he went off to work for Martin Sims, so he wasn't working at Bass Direct. And when the bass eventually got built, he didn't have the cash to buy it. So Mark at Bass Direct bought the bass and sold it straight off the bat. So he picked up the tab and then sold it. That bass, I think, was costing Marcus 14.5 grand, but Series 2 fully spec'd. You go on to Alembic's site, a bass level, so with no frills other than the base model. Series 2, you're looking at $45,500. So it could well be that Mark sold that bass for 26, but it cost 14, I think, to build, because when Marcus spec'd it, he was still working at Bass Direct, so he was eligible for the distributor retailer discounts. So if they sold it for 26, they made a quick 12 grand markup. There we go. That's the world of bass retail. Visog, I think John Entwistle's Alembic broke at Live Aid. He got annoyed with it. I think all sorts of things were going on that day. It was a very hot day, so it wouldn't surprise me if that neck moved a little. And bear in mind, this was a 70s Alembic neck. I'm not sure if they had dual truss rods or not. It certainly wouldn't have had any graphite reinforcement in there. So it could have been a bit of that. A lot of humidity, hot weather, summer heat. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Some guy, my strap game is weak other than one my sister was kind enough to gift me. Well, I'll take you through in a minute what I filmed today. So that will go up as a video. I just hope those of you that watch what I talk about shortly will go and watch the video when it gets uploaded. So we can actually get on with it now, shall we? Let's get the guessing game out of the way. So, as many of you will know, let me get the bass out of the bag. So anyone that's sort of stumbled on here from Facebook or you may have come through direct from YouTube. I can't remember. Are we broadcasting on Facebook tonight? We're not, are we? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't think we get a huge amount of viewers from Facebook, so it's fine. So, oh dear, don't drop the bag, Mike. Right, here we go. Right, I'm going to get these messages out of the way. You can join in live by video or audio, of course. Just email me at brooksySpaceCorner@gmail.com. There's a ticker running along the bottom of the screen. Send me an email. I'll send you an invite. You click on the invite and you can come on here live. Maybe you want to talk about the Bootsy bass or the strap. Richard Filton Perkins, good to see ya. Welcome. So, right, let me get rid of that banner. Right, hide that. Okay. I might need to do this standing back a bit, so let me see if I can move this and get that to a point that works. Right. So some of you will know I bought this bass. It's the Warwick Bootsy Collins Spacebass. It's actually part of their rock bass range, although it's a little bit more exotic and expensive than the other models in that range. So it's made in China. Says on the back. So I bought this in October 2023 from Bass Brothers. Basically immaculate, and got a call from Will. There was one on Facebook at the time, Facebook Marketplace, and the guy had re-drilled the holes on the back and put the strap buttons in a different place. This is immaculate, this one. You'll see a few marks. It's actually sellotape adhesive, where I tried adding some weights to the bass. So basically you put this on a strap, you take your hands off the bass and it flips. It just goes like this. So if you have to do any clap alongs with the audience or anything like that, this bass just goes. Take your eye out, take your armpit out if you get the point caught under it. And so basically the whole gig, the neck is resting in the cradle of your fingers and you can feel the pressure of it pushing down. Now the bass itself isn't very heavy. I think it's like 4, maybe 4-1, 4-2 at a push. Where's my... there it is. I'll even tell you while we're on here. My luggage scales here. Right. I will tell you. Got to be gentle with this or you end up banging the points on the body and it's no good for anyone. Right. Can't believe this battery's still working. I bought this in 2016. Right. 0's good. Right. 3.6 kilos. I'll just weigh it again just to make sure. 3.6 kilos. That's what this bass weighs, which is nothing, really, in terms of bass weight. It's not heavy at all. Yet, for design purposes and the way this bass has been designed and where the strap buttons are, it just doesn't balance at all. And I bought some wheel weights. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 15 strips of these wheel weights, which I tried as a dummy run. I sellotaped them to the body to see if it made any difference. It made no difference whatsoever. And that added up to almost, well, between 1.5 to 2 kilos extra weight down this end of the body, and it still made no difference. So I've done gigs with it. It's okay. I can't fault how it sounds. It sounds great, does the job, but it's just an absolute nightmare to play. Any songs where you have a slide, like I play Boogie Nights and there's a there's sliding notes. It's a nightmare. You can't play it with any precision. Half the time you just run short because the bass is pressing down into the cradle of your hand. Okay, so I've tried various straps. Everyone always says buy a wider strap, buy a leather strap. I don't want to buy leather straps. I'm vegetarian. I don't want to buy leather products. Buy a strap with suede on the underside. It'll grip to your shoulder. I don't think anything is going to stop this thing flying off. Anyway, a couple of you mentioned this, the zero gravity strap from Cable Free Guitar in the US. I sent them an email. Didn't think I'd get a response, but I did very quickly. And they told me they had no UK distributor, no reseller here in the UK. There were no stores selling their straps. If I wanted to try one, I had to buy one. And I thought, all right, it's coming up to the end of tax year. I need expenses in my accounts anyway. I'll buy one. We'll see. I can do a video here on the channel and we'll see what happens. So I ordered one on a week ago on Monday, 8 days ago. It came 4 days later via UPS. Great service. Well done, Cable Free Guitar. Very impressed. So in the box, this box, let me put the bass down. Hope it doesn't just fall over. Right. So you have to be a bit gentle with this thing. You get it wrong, you're going to end up with dents and bangs all over it. Right, stay there. Don't pivot. Okay. So in this box, I'm hoping you can hear all this while I'm chattering away. Are a top hat and star-shaped shades compulsory when playing the Bootsy bass? No. Although I do have all those sort of glasses. I bought a load of things like that when I joined Uncle Funk. Some guy have an odd-shaped PV next to me if you receive my email. I've not received an email. Hold on. Let's have a look. Check that I'm in the right folder. Would be good. Ah, here we go. Okay. Did you want to come onto the chat, some guy? You have an odd-shaped PV next to me if you... right, yes, I think you do. Right, let me copy this. I'll send that to you. There you go. Right, so in this box, this is what you get, okay? So you get the strap, and I opted, there's a load of different sort of colour and pattern variations. I opted for the nice purple paisley to go with the colouring on the base. So it's like that at one end. So you've got the old length adjuster. You've got that at the other, and then you've got the padded neoprene thing. So the idea is this resists, it sort of gives the bass more grip. Then there's a lace with it, which goes through the other end. Old style, a lot of straps used to have laces. So it's if you want to use it with an acoustic guitar. There's a sticker in there. Oh, all fingers and thumbs today. There's a sticker in there. There's then a 10% off your next order voucher with a QR code on the back. And then you get a little bag which got some picks and the old rubber strap rings instead of strap locks. So, moment of truth. I haven't shared this with anyone because I only did it this afternoon. So I filmed the video. I know how this pans out. I will stand away from the mic because you need to see what happens. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I'll be able to see it on the camera. So that's my chair. Are you in the way? You maybe are. So I'm standing well back here. You got to have room. Because if this thing goes, it's a hot mess, you know. All right, moment of truth for you fine people. I know you've been waiting for this, so I need to go that way. So this is what you get. I've got a chair there, so you're gonna. Anyway, right. Are we ready? Is everyone ready? So this is the cable-free guitar zero gravity bass strap on the Warwick Bootsy Collins Spacebass. Ready? I'm going to take one hand away. Don't stand next to your guitars, you might knock them all fly. Right, one hand away. Actually put my hand under the neck. Right, one hand away. And I'm going to let this go and you're going to see what happens, all right? 3, 2, 1. It still does it. It doesn't do what I need it to do. It needs to sit there. And I tried doing the, and it's still the same thing. Cannot get that bass to sit. It's pressing down on the hat. It's gone. So there you go. It doesn't work. So it's back to the drawing board. I suspect what I'm going to have to do, actually let me say this on mic rather than shouting across the room. Shame, because I had high hopes for that, but there we go. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, I don't think there's any way around this. I'm going to have to either reseat some of these strap buttons, or I'm going to put one in here on this top edge. And I think that will offer some resistance to the need, because if I do it and the strap is tight, it gives it less sort of fulcrum pressure to tip. And that's the problem. The whole thing is to do with this. It's to do with that and the position of that button there. Now I know there's another button down here, and if you watch Bootsy playing his bells and whistles bass with all the lights and stuff, that's what he does. He puts the strap that goes over his shoulder is attached there. However, if you look at the photos of the two basses, they're totally shaped different. Totally different. They're not the same. This is the cheap model and his is the super expensive model, and clearly Warwick did the bells and whistles on his and not on this. This is just a cheap alternative. So I've now got to find another way of doing this. I don't know what it's going to be. I've looked at the Dario thing, and that might work. I might contact the Dario's resellers here in the UK and see if there's a way around it. See if they'll send me a strap to test. Sadly, the zero gravity strap didn't work. Not even close. I thought there would be some resistance on it. Well, you saw. Take my hands away, it just flipped straight out. I tried it again with that strap using the lower strap button. Absolutely pointless. The bass is flipping the other way. It wants to go forward like that. You just can't play it. So I've got to find a way that this is possibly playable. Otherwise, it's going to have to get moved on, because I can't use it. Can't use it in any gig apart from Uncle Funk. And at the moment, it makes using it a real bind. It's like, oh God, I've got to use that. And I don't want to. Now, sound-wise, I'd love to. And looks-wise, I'd love to. But until we can address the balance thing, I just don't know what the solution is. Yeah, anyway, exasperated on the whole issue, to be fair. I now understand why the guy was trying to sell his one on Facebook. If you missed that, because I was facing the wrong way, I just say I now understand why the guy on Facebook was trying to sell the one he had. I get it. Although he claimed he'd addressed the balance issues by reseating the strap buttons, but the problem is, you then end up having trouble reselling the bass because you've drilled a load of holes and it just looks dreadful. How Warwick thought that was acceptable to put out, I've got no idea. Anyone from Warwick, if you're watching this live chat, shame on you. That is dreadful. It should never have got released in that way. You should have found a way. It should have been shaped like Bootsy's bass, clearly. I don't know what made you think it was okay. Right, going on your comments here. Richard, I wear 50s style prescription sunglasses when on stage with the Everleys and Friends live tribute show. That's okay. That's okay. When I do Uncle Funk, I've got some shades, I've got mirror things, I've prescription glasses. So it's the best vision I've had on stage ever. Don't normally wear glasses on stage, although I have been doing it on the request show in recent months. But yeah, the sunglasses I wear for Uncle Funk have got prescription lenses in. It's the best view I've ever had on stage. Visog tricked me into thinking it would work, but wow, it's some neck dive. Tell me about it. I've been dealing with that. That's why I didn't really use it a lot last summer. I used it on a show on like the 1st of June, I think, and then I didn't use it again until January this year. It's too much grief. It's horrible to play the way it is. If I could get that body to sit at an angle and I can play like a regular bass, I'll play it. I'll happily play it. But at the moment, you just can't get it in a comfortable position. And as soon as you move it, all the familiarity for your hands is gone. I now dread taking my hands away from the strings, because when I come back and put my hand back around the pickup and the strings, it feels like no man's land. It's just like, I don't know where. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But we'll get there. I'm not going to be beaten by this. We will get it somehow. Richard, good balance usually depends on the upper horn being near the 12th fret. That's exactly it. When I showed that bass to John Chapman at the bass centre, he said, well, you need like an extension, like a strap-on, coming out from the upper point and going horizontally across like a long screw or a long nail or something. But I don't want to ruin the bass when it comes to sell it. I've got an uphill battle as it is. I don't want to make it any worse. Sell it to Bootsy. I don't think he needs to buy any basses. He probably gets loads of them for free, frankly. Although when I did ask for a quote, because we were talking in Uncle Funk, the boss man was talking about getting one with all the bells and whistles and all the lights and pickups. And he said, can you get a quote? See how much they'll cost. He said, I'll put a 10 grand budget aside if you can get it. He said, I'll own it and you play it. I said, no, okay. And we asked Bass Direct to contact Warwick, and what I got told from Market Bass Direct was Warwick quoted 70 grand to make another Bootsy bass. Somehow I don't think it would cost that. I think that's just a fee they quote because they don't really want to build them. So it's like a put off fee. It'd probably cost, yeah, probably close to 10, maybe, with all the lights and pickup switching and what have you. But there we go. We will see. We will see. Richard, the purple does look good. Yes, it is perfect for the job I bought it for. It just don't balance. And it's just almost impossible to play. And if you don't believe me, if Jerry Blair or John Cooper come on, they'll tell you, because they put the bass on when they came to see a gig recently, and they went, oh my God, this is horrendous. I said, exactly. I'm not complaining for the sake of it. I'm complaining because it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way it should. And there aren't any videos online addressing it. So it's kind of, you've just got to experiment and find a solution. Some guy, what's the case situation on that creature? Well, it comes from Warwick with a padded gig bag, and it's like a wider body, almost like an acoustic guitar bag. But that's what you get. You don't get a flight case or anything, because it's a rock bass. It's part of their rock bass range. So it's one of the cheaper things. But there we are. There we are. We will live, but we will try and have a go somehow. It's the man, Mr. Delano Mills. Good to see you. Brooksy, try this tip from Stephen J, who had the same issue with his alembic. I'm assuming on his Stanley Clark. Were you trying to add a link there? Links can't be seen here on live chats. If you just send me a link on social media, Delano, and try this tip from Stephen J. Let me have a look on YouTube if I search on him. This is also what the alembic Stanley Clark models suffer from. You take your hands off and the thing just flips. Stephen J. Ah, that bloke. Okay, I will check it out. I will check it out. Yeah, he had that issue. I'm just watching the short. And he did, I think he used a different strap, didn't he? I'm just watching it, sorry. I haven't got the volume on, but I can see what he's doing. Oh, he had an extra. Yeah. Ah, right, yes. Okay. Thank you. Do you know what? I did watch that video once before, and I must have watched it long before I bought this bass. So I have seen that. I will get onto that. I'll have a look, because I do wear a belt for Uncle Funk. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. I will check it out later. Trying to think, how would I? Let's have a little look here, shall we? I think I might need to have a strap made to have a length, or I might have to use one of the other straps I've got, but and that's no big deal. That could do it. That could do it. I will investigate. Thank you, sir. Bless you. Owe you a pint. If that solves it, splendid. I will check that out. In fact, let me post a link up for the guy's video. You guys can see it. We want to share that. Here you go. Check that out. Well done, Delano. Fabulous. Some guy, there's no reason to play an instrument uncomfortably. Correct. Unless you're a soldier. Very good. The Red Devil, have you tried an acoustic guitar strap that goes range nut area? I know what you mean. Possible. The only thing is, with it being a bass, it's probably longer than an acoustic guitar neck would be. I think if that went there. It might. These are again, these are things I might have to experiment with. Agreed, some guy. Bass shouldn't fight you in any way. Correct. Certainly not in this day and age. It should work with you. Correct. Upgraded from incandescent lights to LED. What are we talking about? It's Delano. Excellent. Good stuff. Yeah, I will. I'll check that out. Let me just watch that again. I want to see how long the tail end piece of his strap is. Yeah, it's not very long, is it? So basically, he's kind of got like an old style strap with an extra section. That isn't even attached. Oh, I see. He's got, I think, I can't remember what that brand of locks were that came out a little further. So let's see. The only problem he's then got is he can't move the bass. Now, you got to remember, he's playing a short scale Stanley Clark. I've got a long scale Warwick. Bass, the bridge is the same thing. inserted into the body further, which is what happens on the Alembics as well. But he's only got so much length on that piece of strap. He can't move that bass left without yanking his trousers and his belt. And this neck on this bass is much longer. Well, it's 4 inches longer. We'll see. We will see. We will see. I will do my best. Shallow locks would do. That's what I normally use. The new ones have a longer thread. Yeah, what it looks like on that is that there used to be a brand, John Taylor used them in the 80s, that had a longer strap button. So I haven't got a shallow to hand, have I? There's one there. But it wasn't that the screw is longer, it's that the shaft of the strap button is longer. And that looks like what he's doing there. The thing on his belt is a shallow, and the strap lock is a shallow. But the actual attachment that's on the kind of side or back side of that alembic is one of those longer ones. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. It's a conundrum, I can assure you, and it's annoying because I just want to use the bass and make it earn its keep, but it's tricky. It's very tricky. So here we are. I've announced that. So it's just gone 10 to 9 here in the UK, here in London town. This is live chat 108 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. If you've got any questions about basses, amps, effects, strings, accessories, setting up pedal boards, setting up basses, maybe your gear's not working properly, if I can help in any way, that's what I'm here for. Excuse me. Hay fever. Pollen's up today. Fabulous, hey. Sorry if that deafened you. So if you've got any questions, anything about gear, anything you want to know about basses, bass playing, equipment, if I can help you, I will. That's what I'm here for. If I don't know the answer, we'll open it up to the rest of the fine people here on the live chat. Mr. Lover, helium balloon on the headstock. Yeah, that would probably help. Truly, it's been a thorn in my side since the day I got it. It was I used it on a gig the week after I bought it, and it suddenly became very apparent what the issue was. In the first gig, it was like, oh my God, you've done no practice with this, and you should have done. You would have realised what the deal was. So mid gig, trying to do my best confident playing impression, and took my hands away from the bass to play Car Wash and just felt the whole thing tip. And it was like, okay, yeah, you're going to have to deal with this. We will get there. We will get there. So have you got any new gear and new basses, new purchases? Let me know. If you've bought something like just as I've bought this strap and it's not done what you were hoping it would do, let me know. If you've got your eye on something, maybe a new piece of gear or some new accessories, let me know. Now, I haven't looked on the Amazon store for a couple of days. Let me just check, see if any of those string deals from last week are still active. And see, for those who missed the boat, there might still be some deals there. Let's have a look. So the Funkmasters, the Rote Sound Funkmasters, still £18.50. The Billy Sheehan BS66s are still $19.30. There are some other sets. Again, it's saying what the list price is. I'm guessing some of these list prices are taking into consideration the increasing cost of metal and steel, because some of these strings are priced at £24.90 with a list price of £29.78. Yet those strings were 24 quid regularly before these discounts. So that might not actually be a discount really, based on what they were. It's just taken into account the increased price of metal. But they're there. There's RS66s in nickel, which are 4,505. There are some 40 to 95 swing bass steels at £18.50. You've got 35 to 125 string set at £24.90. What's that? 45 to 130. 5-string swing bass steels at £24.90. SM66s, which are 40-100 swing bass nickels. They're £19.50. There's a dual pack of 35 to 90 swing bass steel and a set of 3090 Funk Masters for £37 instead of £44. There's a bunch of Ernie Ball strings. There's some DRs at £8 off. What's that? Pure Blues, 4,505. Are they steel? No, they're nickel. Quantum nickel, £8 off. There's some other DR strings, some Black Beauties. There's some Elixirs with their, well, there's a set there, 5-string set, which is, what's that? Just over £6 off. So those deals are still there. You'll find affiliate links in the description box. Just go through to the Brooksy's Bass Corner store, head to the string products section, and you'll find those strings there. Some guy bought a Roland Aerophone and have been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know what that is, so let me just check. Ah, okay. Lots of different models as well. Prices range all over the place. So you're going into the, I can't even say woodwind because they're not wooden, are they? Metal, plastic, maybe? Digital saxophones, digital wind instruments. So I guess you can get all the voicings of the different instruments. Excellent. Enjoy. So if you want to join me live here by video or audio, you can do. Just email me on the email address running along the bottom of your screen on the ticker, brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com. I'll get your email. I'll send you an invite. You click on the invite and it'll bring you straight through. You can have a live chat with me by video or audio. If you don't want to show your face on screen, that's fine. You just turn the visual part of your camera device off and we'll just hear you talking, which is fine. Bill Derbyshire, good to see you. You're having issues with your Ibanez Upswing bass. It buzzes like mad when I use a lead, but it's fine on a wireless system now. I know it's probably an earth problem, but I can't locate it. Have you checked the shielding? Although on a wireless system, have you checked the cable? Or is the cable fine with all your other basses? Try the lead with another instrument. If it's still doing the same thing, then you know it's a problem with the lead. Otherwise, check the shielding. If you've got, I don't know what that is, an Ibanez Upswing. Let me see. Upright affair. Okay. Well, I don't know where the shielding would be, so I'm assuming there's a control panel on the back. Or control plate, cavity plate. There we go. Yeah, there is. Have a look in there, see what the shielding's doing. If still in doubt, get in touch with now who's there? It was Headstock Distribution, I think it is. I think it's Headstock Distribution. Yes, it is. They're based in the Midlands. Get in touch with them. They'll help you. They'll get someone to give you some advice. But weird that it's doing it with a cable and not with a wireless. And also looking at that photo. Okay, it's got piezo obviously. Could be a problem with the piezo. Could be. They can be really temperamental. I've known many people have acoustic guitar, acoustic basses, and have real problems with their piezo. It's not it's not a metaphor. They actually can be problematic. Maybe adjust the string volumes. That's what those holes, they've got grub screws in there, and they allow you to adjust the volume of each string independently. Is it happening across all the strings, Bill? Or is it just one? There's no shielding in the cavity. Could be that. You've tried different leads and they're all doing the same. It could be shielding. I guess there's no general magnetic pickup there, but the piezo works on a different technology, I think. Transducers, high sensitive, yeah. I would contact Headstock and see if they know of this as a problem. I don't know how long those have been out or how long they've been available for. I don't know if it's a new thing. Oh, can't be new because there are YouTube videos on it in 2018. Have you had a look on YouTube to see if there's any videos about it? That issue. In fact, I'm looking for you. Doesn't look like it. No. There is a Toman video about how to fix ground noise. But there would potentially be ground noise if you were using the wireless, and you're saying that doesn't do it at all. I'd have a chat with Headstock. If it's a known problem, they'll be able to tell you how to fix it. If it's not a known problem, they can certainly contact Ibanez on your behalf and try and get some answers as to what's causing the problem. So that might be worth checking, Bill. Stacey, good to see you from North Carolina. Excellent. Bill Derbyshire, I had to adjust the control on the E string and it all sounds great when I'm wireless. I will contact those people you recommended. Yeah, Headstock Distribution. Let me get the details for you. They're usually pretty good. I've never had any problems with them. They've always been helpful. We used to deal with them quite a bit at the magazine. There you go, Bill. In fact, let me see if I can find the section you want. Just checking the stream health. It's all good. Fabulous. Okay. There we go. Ibanez. Oh, okay. Okay, if you go through to there, if you go through the Headstock, find Ibanez, and then click on the support section, it just takes you straight back to Headstock. So I would speak to Headstock. Right, we don't need the address, do we? They are in Hales Owen. Here's the details, I guess. So phone or email. And go, Bill. See how you get on with that. But they're usually pretty helpful. At least they used to be. I never had any issues with them, and they were usually quick at getting back to me with information. So. There we are. That's all fine. Okay. Thank you very much for all the likes. Welcome to all the new subscribers. We've had a bit of a subscriber surge over the past week, so thank you very much. Welcome for joining the bus. Thanks for getting on the Brooks's Bass Corner channel. And I hope you find some content on here that you'll find helpful even, with my teeth in. Yeah. So thank you very much for your new subscriber. Thank you for all the comments, the likes, the shares over the past week. Very much appreciated. So coming up on the channel, so I thought I was going to get a video up today, but we were beaten by the clock by about 25 minutes. So there'll be a video up tomorrow, which will be Gig Vlog 4. And then we'll get the Strap Bootsy Collins Spacebass video up as well over the next couple of days. And probably another gig vlog before the end of the week. And then I think it's going to be some reviews and demos because I haven't done any for a while. So I need to get those up. And I've still got... Barry, I'm so sorry if you're watching. Barry from the... bass centre here in the UK. I've still got the Neil Murray basses here, and I've still got to do the finish off the filming. They're half done. I've just got to finish it off. I will get them done, and I will get them back to you ASAP. They are top of my list. Actually, my board is out there. They're top of my list once we get this the gig vlog and the Strap video out the way. So they're coming, I promise. So's Christmas, I hear you cry. It's true. Just checking if there's any community messages. No, and analytics is going well, it would seem. I have some good dentition. I'm not so sure. They said, well, by the sounds of it, they fall out every week, but I'm joking. I'm joking. It's just me slurring my words. I bit the inside of my lip yesterday, and it's sort of swollen up just on the inside, and it's really annoying every time you talk. I just feel it catching. Very annoying. Bill Derbyshire, you did push the boat out this week and bought a Nordstrand Nordy Mute, and I'm loving it. Very good. I've got the Groove Gear Thump, sorry, it's called, isn't it? The Groove Gear Thump, which I have used, but I find it just totally mutes the string. And yes, it's a string mute, I know, but it literally just completely kills off the bass. I'm not even going to put it on because you won't be able to hear it. But it does the same thing. I haven't tried the Nordstrand one. And to be honest, I bought that on spec about 10 years ago thinking, well, muting, flat strings were all the rage. And I've never been asked to use it. I bought it, never used it. So I won't bother buying the Nordstrand one. I'll try it if there's one in a shop next time I go to Bass Direct or the gallery. I'll try it for comparison. But I know that thing absolutely just completely kills the string. There's no real note. It's just like I know, I get the idea that's what it's meant to do, but there is literally no discernible musical tone. It's just something going boom, boom. There's no tone, no note to it. So you can play anywhere up and down the string and there's still no note. But there we are. Some guy, so bass wasn't always your primary instrument. Yes, it was. It's the only instrument I've played. I did try learning guitar at the same time and then realised I just wanted to stick to bass. I wanted to do as good a job as I could on that. And why did I choose bass? I knew when I was about 6 years old I wanted to be a musician. I don't know why, I just had an affinity with music. And yet, whenever I did music at school, as in the subject music, I was never a high flyer. And I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that the teachers back in the 70s and 80s at the schools I went to just didn't get music the way I got it, or approached it in a way that made any sense to me, and certainly didn't inspire me to want to learn it the way they were teaching it. But music was always what I wanted to do. Now, like most kids who are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, growing up through the 80s, we all wanted to be footballers, and you soon realise that's not going to happen unless you're exceptional. And I then went through a period of wanting to be a games designer, which looking back could have been something good. But the pull of the music was always really what I wanted to do. And then when I saw the Reflex by Duran Duran, I saw the video of them in concert, and that was like, that's what I want to do. That's it then. Right, that's what you've got to aim to be doing when you finish school, finish education. And I flapped about, because I moved around schools a fair bit. My family sort of moved to different areas for various things that went on in our family. And when I came back to London, so I was 13, again, music at school was crap. My year was the first year that did GCSEs instead of O-levels. We were the year that transitioned over. And at that school, when I picked my GCSEs, they weren't going to run music. They weren't going to have a music teacher that year, so I couldn't do music. So we had house competitions at school. So there were 4 houses: Gibbs, Halliwell's, Newsom's, and Milton were the 4 houses. So it was sport, theatre, music, debating, all of that. It was competition. So there was a music competition. First year I was there, I didn't enter, didn't get involved. Second year I did, and I wanted to be a singer. So for me, I always thought, oh, well, I'm going to be a singer. Not knowing really, and had no guidance from people in my family, because no one was a musician, no one was a singer. You want to do this stuff, you got to learn it all for yourself. What I should have done as a 12, 13-year-old was starting to learn how to sing, and the technicality and the theory and how to harmonise and all of that. Didn't do any of that, did I? So started singing, and then nature took its course and the voice dropped, and realised actually singing's not for you. And as you can hear, I've got quite a low voice, and actually some of my favourite singers talk in the same range I've got, yet they have these great high singing voices. I don't have that. I don't have great mid-range. I've got a good high falsetto and a good low, good baritone, but I don't have a strong mid-range that can go up through the gears like the good singers can. And so I decided not to do that, and then I entertained the prospect of being a drummer, and then realised very quickly, there was a guy at school who was fabulous, who was my age and was far and away. He was already on his journey, and we still play together, still in touch, still work together now. And I watched him play, and I thought, well, I can't do that. And he's the same age as me, and he's been taking lessons probably for about 18 months. Didn't have a car at the age of 14, and thought, you need to rethink this. So what are you going to do? Didn't want to be a keyboard player. Everyone wanted to be a guitar player, but no one wanted to be a bass player, certainly not the school I was at. And there was an older guy 2 years above me in the 6th form who was playing bass. And when we entered the music competition a year later, no, actually, sorry, it was when I was in the 4th year. So it was the year I entered to be a singer in a band, and we did it, and it was a bit embarrassing. And Gary was already playing bass, and he was the bass player at school. And he was in a band in the 6th form. And I remember after making a fool of myself singing, sat down with my dad, who was in the audience, and watched Gary play. And I said, that's what I want to do. He said, well, you better start earning some money then, hadn't you? Because that gear costs. So about 6 weeks later, I started a paper round. Still hadn't entertained being a bass player. Didn't know how to go about it. Again, I think I was waiting for someone to push me into doing it, and there was no one in the family that was going to do that. So what it took was, when I was in 5th year, so the year before you would then go on to do A-levels, an English teacher put up a message on the music room notice board saying, does anyone want bass guitar lessons? So we're talking October 87. I'm a huge Duran Duran fan, John Taylor fan, John Deacon fan, Mark King fan, Bernard Edwards, all of that. Grew up with disco. And that was it. That was your gateway. There's the guy going to give you lessons. Do it. So I replied, and I was the only one that responded. So basically, he then said, right, next Wednesday, lunchtime, see you in the music room. We could do an hour's bass lesson. I went, great, okay. Had never picked a bass up in my life. Roll around that Wednesday, sat down. He gave me a brief introduction of what the bass is, what it is physically, how it works within the context of a band. These are the strings. These are the notes. I'm going to teach you a 12-bar rock and roll song. You can play it. See how you get on. And as soon as he passed me the bass and I put it on and I just started, it was like, I am sold. This is it. I've found what I want to do for the rest of my life. Went into my afternoon lessons that day. Couldn't even concentrate. Walked home, head full of ideas and dreams. And I walked through the front door. My mum went, what's going on? You look very happy with yourself. What's gone on? I said, oh, I've just discovered what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And that was it. We had 3 lessons with my English teacher. And by the end of it, he just said, after the 3rd lesson, he said, you've got all the enthusiasm and drive you need to do this. He said, I can only teach you so much. I'm a guitar player. He said, but here's a book, or go and get a book from the library. That's it, which has got a guitar neck on it. It'll show you where all the notes were. And I had the Queen illustrated lyrics book. I've done this before on the live chat, but anyway, it's there. Big thick book. It's got all the tracks from the first album up until Kind of Magic. It's got the chord symbols along the lyrics, so you know what the chords are. And from ear training, I just bought the Queen Complete Works box set, going through the albums, listening to the tracks, using that book. I self-taught myself all the Queen bass lines, or as many as I could. And that was it. I was up and running. So that, in a potted history, is why I chose bass. And that's it. Here we are, 38 years later. So it's been okay. It served me well. Bill Derbyshire, you have the Groove Gear one, but the Nordy Mute is better. Okay, well, maybe I'll check that out then. Because like I say, this just completely kills any notes. But if that's going to work, I'll check one out. The only thing I got from my music lessons at school was concussion when the teacher chucked a wooden chalkboard rubber at someone. But got me instead. It's weird. I look back on all the music that I used to do at school and it was just so uninspiring. And I think the only time occasionally you'd get a teacher or a stand-in teacher and they talk about the Beatles or something like a bygone era, like 20 years before where I was in the 80s, bands from, and it was like, none of this is contemporary to what I'm listening to. None of this is teaching me anything. You'd get those lessons where they wanted to teach you classical music and this is how to read the stave and all. It's like, yeah, but you're not inspiring me to want to do this. Why? And you had all those kids doing recorder lessons and violin lessons and they could read music, but they didn't want to do it. They'd been pushed into it by their parents, whereas I was kind of the opposite. My parents were like, well, if that's what you want to do, go and do it. But I had to earn the money to buy a bass and an amp and what have you. And that's where the paper round came in. And that's how I bought my first bass. In fact, we were clearing out the loft the other day and I found my first bass stand, which I've got here. By sheer luck, it's here under my desk. Bought from Rock Bottom Music in on the, I can tell you the day, 29th of April 1988, my first bass stand. I've still got the cradle, it's just here, and amazingly all the rubber part of it hasn't rotted. How many people have bought bass stands and there are various brands? I've got a couple where all the rubber and the foam just rots off. This thing is nearly 40 years old and it's still going strong. But it's been in the loft for a good 25. I didn't use it. I used all the other stands I've got. But there we go. The original. Some guy, I came from a musical family and they were going to put me up for adoption if I wasn't musically inclined. See, I didn't have any of that. All, you know, my mum used to play music all the time. The radio was going constantly. That was kind of my library, if you like. And I grew up in a time of disco and great bass lines everywhere. You know, you couldn't hear a song on the radio and there wasn't a great bass line. Richard, I came through from the classical world, been a cellist since 7 years old, picked up piano and double bass. Good for you, sir. Good for you. I wish I was more theory driven. It's something that I've had to, although I'm not, I've got nuggets of theory. I can't read music. I can if I sit there and I pore over it for a good half an hour. But as I've said before on various live chats as well, I've never really missed out on a lot of work because I couldn't read. Now, as I get older, and I said it in a video a couple of months back, you know, 5 things I wish I could have told myself 30 years ago. I wish I'd learned double bass, because so many gigs now, especially on the WhatsApp groups that I'm on, the Depping groups and what have you, you have to be able to play double bass or upright bass on gigs as well as electric. And I don't do that. So that's the work I'm missing out on. But so be it. Bill Derbyshire, it was the art teacher at school that gave guitar lessons. They were usually those sort of people, weren't they? It's that way inclined. After school, and it was him that said I should try bass, and so glad he did. Exactly that. But you see, for me, a lot of it was I had to get off my backside, and if I was going to do it, I had to have the gumption to go and do it. There was no point my parents, Pink Bassman, there was no point my parents sort of pushing me to do it, because so many kids I've met get pushed into doing music or bass or what have you, and they detest it. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to put in the time to practice. I get that with adults as well. A lot of people say to me, oh, it's too late for me to start. It's never too late, but you've got to have the time to practice. And when you're a kid, it's a lot easier because you don't have life. You don't have dependence. You don't have responsibilities. You can sit in your bedroom, you can listen to music, and you can work it all out. Once you get older, you try putting aside 4 hours to practice. It's not going to happen. And many's the time I've said here on the live chats, I don't get to practice unless I'm learning stuff for a show or a project or I'm depping. I don't get to sit and play for enjoyment. This is my job. So to sit there and play for 4 hours is a rarity. I can't even remember the last time it happened. Probably during lockdown, and I'd been in the workshop and I'd set a load of basses up and I just sat and played for a couple of hours. Doesn't happen. Some guy, you started piano at 8. Yeah. Rich Fitton. Then bought an electric bass when I was 17. I played all the classical repertoire before going to jams and learning to use my ears. Some guy, it was torture, but I'm glad my folks paid for it. All of these things, it will lead you somewhere on your musical path. At which point I'm bringing the purple bearded bass man in. We'll get you there. There we are. I think your mic's far. Put the old headphones on.
We should be smart today.
Started?
How did I get started? Hello, all.
Yeah.
Hello, Brooksy.
Hello there. Lovely.
Well, so how did Jubbly? How did I get started? Well, that's a very great question, actually. My mom was an accordionist, and she had a combo when I was within, and she kind of led me to say, "You're going to play accordion," and I said, "No." No,
I'm not.
No, we're not doing that. Sorry. You know, polkas for Germany. Thank you. Danke. Not here. So, no offense to anybody who loves them. That's just I played lots of them over the years, but no. Anyway, so I was 8, and they had the school band program, and out came the mouthpieces. And let's try this one, and let's try that one. So suddenly I became a saxophonist.
A saxophonist.
Yes, a saxophonist. So I take your pick. We're in the South, you know. Hey man, we can say things like that. Hey, so no, it was a saxophone. It was an alto sax, and then it became a baritone sax in high school.
Okay.
And so suddenly I was doing all the Jerry Mulligan jazz you could cast a line for. All the while, kind of messing around with the 1942 K bass that was in the living room. And then it became a Croatian orchestra, a tamburitzin orchestra. That's those little stringed instruments that sound like mandolins that come out of Croatia. And I was doing
Yeah.
the chording instrument, and then it's like, oh, you can do this. So around about that time, it was, hello, Geezer Butler, let's play some songs.
Mm.
Whoa. So I realized that I couldn't play, well, you could, but you're not going to play War Pigs on an upright unless you're playing
Aren't you?
Jazz Sabbath,
Yeah.
or, or you're going to do, we're doing Enya today. Oh.
Mm.
So then it became an electric and rental from the shop and all that stuff. But that's how I began. It was school band.
Ah. Yeah, you see, we didn't really. No,
We
we
didn't
didn't
have
really
YouTube.
have the. Well, we didn't have the orchestra thing at the school. See, I was from Wimbledon. I went to primary school for about a year and a bit, and then we moved to Kent, and I was there for 3.5 years, and then we moved to London, and I was there for about 3 months, and then we moved to Scotland, and I lived in two different places on the outskirts of Aberdeen. So I was at one school for a year,
Hmm.
and then another school, well, two schools, because I was that age where you go from sort of primary to middle school,
Right.
and I was there for one, two, three, and 3 years, and then came back to London. So we were all over so I never got firmly into a school orchestra, and I don't think at any of the schools I was at really there was any of that. You did recorder lessons, and you would have basic sort of tambourine. This is a tambourine, and then you hit on the beats. So count for 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'd always get the kid going 1, 2, 3, 4, on the off, and like most English audiences,
One E
clap
and
in
a two
time.
E and a three E
Yeah,
and a four. Yeah. Okay.
all of that.
Right.
And then by the time I was at secondary school in London, there certainly wasn't a band, and it was an all boys school. So you kind of got that, we're all rock hard here,
Mm.
and no one really would have done an orchestra or school band if there was such a thing. There was certainly no choir or anything like that. It was a very sports driven school.
Yep.
But there was always a band in the sixth form, and the music room there, you could walk past at lunchtime and guys would be playing a bit of guitar, a bit of bass. It never was that great. And then, like I say, my mate Gary, who I'm still friends with and pops up on videos and stuff,
Hmm.
they had a little group of guys. There was couple of singers, the guitar player, keyboard player, so they could make a band, and they were able to play. And it was like, oh, okay. And then when the music competition came around each year for the house competition, they swept the board every bloody time.
Of course they did.
Um, they were just good players. And
Right.
so then I think so they left school at the end of 87, having done their A levels, and they went out and got jobs or went to university. And then that was kind of where me and Jamie then kind of, because at that point I still didn't know I was going to be a bass player until the day I saw the note that said bass lessons on a Wednesday in the music room, and I was like, oh, okay. But that took till the third week in October for that to happen. So when we came back in September 87, I still didn't know. I'd borrowed a mate's keyboard during the summer and thought, I wonder if I could make some sounds. And you want to play keys, you've got to learn some theory. You got to know how things go together and what makes up chords. I mean, someone could do with telling Nick Rhodes that, of course, but there's that element of it. It's just very daunting. It's like, I don't know any of this, and you're sat there thinking, well, how do I learn? You've either you need someone to show you, or you
Hmm.
need a book, or there's got to be a program on the TV, and you work it out from that. So but like I've said, the moment I picked that bass up and the guy went, right, there's the 12 bar sort of rock and roll song, right, here's the bass, you put that on, and there's the bridge, and that's the pickup, and this is the neck, and these are the frets, and that, right, off you go. And I just took to it. And it's like when parents say, oh, well, we took him down the field with a football, and he was just great at football, or any sort of vocation. It becomes very, like, my niece is very good at horse riding, well, no one taught her that. She's either good at it or she's not, and she has an affinity with animals and horses and what have you. But
Sure.
for me, it was, or as far as I see it, for me it was bass, and I was floundering around. I just didn't know what my entry point into being a musician was, because, like I say, I tried to be a singer, and it was like, no. Wanted to be a drummer, forget that. Well, what are you left with? And I always thought, even though I'm a bass player, and a lot of people would say, you don't play melodically. No, because as my job, that's not what's required. I always thought I'd like to be a sax player, because I always thought that could, in terms of work, people would always want you. Obviously, during the Britpop years, that wouldn't have been a thing. Nothing had sax on it. But
Right.
if you were a good horn player, as I find with the horn players in Uncle Funk, they're always off doing other things, because you're good, you get called in to do that sort of thing. So, yeah, so that was it really. It was, and I remember, can't remember who it was that said it to me. Someone said, actually, I think it might have been a friend of my mum and dad's at work who was a bass player, but he had a day job. And he said to them to tell me, if you're a good bass player, there will always be work. Everyone always wants to be a drummer or a guitarist. No one wants to play bass. But if you do it and you do it well, there will be work. You've got to go and find it, but there will always be work. And he was kind of right. And that kind of focused my mind once I'd started playing, that I didn't want to learn guitar at the same time, because I wanted to devote my time to playing bass, not trying to learn two. It's two different disciplines. It's like learning to do judo and karate at the same time. It's two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, have I got the time to do both? I probably should have started one or the other 5 years earlier, and it would have made more sense. But there we are. There we are. I can see a load of messages here. Just bear with me a minute. Right, done that. Yeah. Patrick Sweeney, good evening. Good to see you. Welcome. You started on piano. Your dad was a jazz pianist, hence the piano. Funny that. My dad put me on the bass as he couldn't get decent bass players for his bands. I've heard that similar story many a time, not just with bass.
Yes.
Like dads will say, well, I'm a drummer, I need a guitar player. Right, there's the guitar, go and learn some chords.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. Some guy, my dad needed a bass player too. Cool. He was a top 40 country lead guitar player. Wow, okay. Saul Watson, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for your message earlier.
Speaking of attitude bass, yes. Saul Watson.
There you go. Saul Watson, Jamie Pink bass man. There you go.
Oh, I know Saul. He's a good lad.
Yeah,
he's a good lad.
He is a very good lad. Hope you're well. Hope family's well. Hope the pooch is doing good. There we are. There we are. You can join in on this video chat if you wish, Saul. Just send me an email. There's a ticker running along the bottom of the screen, brooksysbasscorner@gmail.com. If you email me, I'll send you an invite. You click on the invite and you can come on here live. We can have up to 8 people here on the live chat talking. We're not talking at once because it will be a mess, but we can have 8 of us within the conversation. That's how this works.
There you go. Well, so everybody started with something.
I've got a can the colour of your beard.
How about that? Look at the blends from the top down. Look at that. How about that? Look at you being all up there. How about that?
Yeah. Goes with the strap.
Yes.
You've missed the first part of the chat. So the strap came.
Oh, that's lovely.
Friday.
Oh, there you go.
That was to go with the Bootsy bass. It doesn't work.
Oh.
Doesn't work, my friend.
Is that the comfort strap?
Issue.
Is that the big comfort?
This is the zero gravity strap.
Zero gravity. Well, yeah.
It doesn't work. Unfortunately, not their fault. And I'm doing a video and it's not their fault. It was bought to test it out. It doesn't solve it. So we're still looking. We may have a possible workaround. That the lovely Delano Mills from Birmingham has sent me a video, which is actually a video I watched probably a couple of years ago and completely forgotten about. A guy that plays an alembic Stanley Clarke, exactly. Short scale has the same issue because there are small. Oh, is that pink? Is that from the show?
This is the feather boa strap.
Yeah, okay. Yes, the Stanley Clarke has the same problem. And there's a way
Right.
on this video that has like a little addition on the strap, and then he has a strap lock in his belt. So it keeps that bottom end anchored there. What we don't know yet is if that's going to work with any of these straps, because I don't, well, I've got other straps here, obviously.
Have you seen those guys that have done the extension from the strap? They literally, it screws into the hole where the button was. It
Yeah.
sticks out about this far, and you put the strap on the end of it, and it
No,
balances.
no. Find me a link.
They used to use them with
Someone did
Steinbergers. Steinbergers. All the original ones came with an option to have this little thing that you put on it that would
There was the
extend out.
saddle thing that would allow it to sit on your lap. Is that what
Well,
you meant?
no, the saddle thing was down low and you fold it up
Right.
into the body.
Okay.
This is a thing that looks literally like a pin.
Right.
And it has a strap on the end, and you screw it into the body of the guitar, and you put your strap on this end. And because of the length of the piece, it holds the thing in place to where it doesn't just dive.
That will still require me to drill a hole in the base to fix it. In which case, I've already thought today, this was an idea,
Yep.
was to put a strap, I've put the base away, I don't want to dig it out again, is to put,
Sorry.
so the pins are on the back. I'm tempted to put a strap lock, a shallow button on the side of the pin, of the point, because then that will force the strap to be tight, and then it won't be able to slip and move because it can't go anywhere.
Right.
But again, I don't want to be drilling holes and making a mess of the bass, because that, as I've said before, when it comes time to shift that bass on, it's going to be hard enough as it is. I don't want to have the same situation that the guy had on Facebook, where he had resighted all the strap buttons and he got it to balance and it worked fine. But when you turned the bass over, it was full of drill holes.
Right. Swiss
As well
cheese
as the
base.
headstock. Yeah, he ended up having to drop about 300, 400 quid off the price.
Oh, yeah. I think if you could do the math where you can put one hole as opposed to 10, I don't think one hole is going to lose you 300 quid.
Well, again, this is if I can do a dummy run and attach a strap button with tape or something else, hold it in place, and then put the bass on with the strap and hold it and make sure it's not going to tip, and then I know it's going to work. Then to have that extra button there, it doesn't make any difference, does it? Because you've still got the original ones there, and this one works better. But we'll see. I just got to have the time to sit and really focus on it and have a look. But I'll have a look at the Steinberger thing, and we will see.
Yes.
Lots of people here saying hello. Richard, RE the strap. Gravity obviously won out, didn't it just? It's not their fault. It wasn't. They emailed me back when I asked the question about distributors and resellers, and they said, we can't guarantee this is going to solve it. I said, no, I get it, but I'm going to be sitting here wondering about it if I don't just go ahead and buy one. So that's what I did. Some guy, Richard, do you ever lift your double bass over your head? Good Lord.
I do.
Well, yeah. Bill Derbyshire, they have the same thing on a Warwick knobby Madel bass. Well, this is the thing. This is what I don't get. This is made by Warwick. They designed this bass in conjunction with Bootsy, but I think he probably had no hand in this at all. They did the bells and whistles one. He took the bass and went, thanks very much. Warwick thought, we need to do a cheaper version because someone might buy it. Well, spot Billy Muggins here. Billy Muggins bought it. But the thing doesn't balance. Now, if they could sort it for that knobby Madel bass, they should have sorted it on this.
Well, maybe that's where you get it. Maybe that's where you get the piece from, is you reach out to Warwick and say, hey, I've got this and I need this piece.
Maybe.
It's a thought. Again, just one additional drill in, if it makes it extend enough to where it lives, Yeah, so it reminds me, so you spoke of the Stanley Clark bass earlier.
Yeah.
I actually had a Series 1 Alembic some years back, and it was the full scale 34-inch, blah, 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 full length, everything. And it did the same thing because the neck would just drop to the floor, even though the body was large. I didn't keep it long enough to get all giggly with it, but I had enough of a time with it, put it on a strap and try to sit down with it and just play it. and it wasn't. It was the same thing. The one JD that I had that was nicknamed Amber was a custom done for a guy, Mark Palmer, or something like that. It's not
Yes,
wasn't Andy, but
funky Hobbit.
yeah, Mark Palmer guy. He had two of them, and this one made its way across the pond, and I ended up with it. And he had the body horns kind of set back like an alembic. So the
Right.
minute you put a strap on it, oh, okay. And then of course reaching F was way out here.
Of course.
So, same idea. Again, the thing with the knobby Midell bass is just a long piece of metal that screws into the body, and you just put the strap on the end, and it counterbalances because you're holding it out further.
This is my other concern. What works for the alembic is the fact that it's a short scale, 30-inch scale. Okay, it's actually longer because the bridge has been inlaid,
Right.
which is what they do on all the alembics. But I think the Warwicks have a degree of this as well. It's the Warwick that I reviewed for Bass Guitar Magazine back in the day, one of the Infinities, and I'd not played one of these with the bridge so far inlaid, and it was just impossible to play. It was like, this can't be a 34-inch scale, but it was. So it worked. I can see how this video that I've watched of the guy with Stanley Clark, how it works for him, because it's a 30-inch scale. This is a 34-inch scale. And it feels, there are times when it's felt very long and you're suddenly thinking, Christ, this isn't actually a comfortable thing to play. So I'm worried that if I go down this route of having the extra strap button on the belt, suddenly the bass can't shift any further left because it's anchored in place. So if I want to shift to be comfortable when I'm playing, I can't do it. It is stuck.
Unless you shift your trousers at the same time.
Well, it would be a case of shifting the belt, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
I guess that's possible. We'll see. We'll see. Some guy, this band I watch, Wild Bill and the Bruisers. That's good. Rockabilly band. It's part of their bit. This is the throwing the double bass over your head. Very good.
Right.
Well, anything for showmanship. Ask Billy Sheehan, he'll tell you that.
Entertainment.
Bill Derbyshire, I've sent you a picture on Messenger of the knobby Madel Warwick. Okay. I know what that bass looks like, but let's have a look to see what that extender thing.
We saw one of those at the guitar show a couple weekends ago.
Yes, we did.
Lovely little boat panel that it is.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this extender. Ah, right. Okay, so it's like that, is it? Okay, so what is that attached to? The strap button behind the back of the neck?
Could be.
See, the problem... Part of the problem with that is the strap button on the Bootsy is on the top horn. So that thing sticking out might not be the safest thing. But we'll see.
Well, if your strap is connected to it, you're not going to punch anybody's eyes out with it.
Yeah. It's certainly worth investigation. I'll have a word with Warwick and see if they'll send me one.
Can't hurt.
No, it can't. Some guy forgot to mention my first song was published. Well, good for you, sir.
Well done.
Well done. We applaud those accomplishments. Well done, that man.
Yes, indeed.
So what's the news with you? What's going on? What's been going on this week?
So a friend of mine.
How are you getting on with your remix shorts?
Oh, you know
Having
what?
fun?
Let me tell you. Oh, I'm having a ball. Are you kidding?
It's opened a new world up.
Well, it's kind of an adventure, really, because every one of them is, I've seen them ramp up all of a sudden. And I'm getting comments and having chats with folks and whatnot.
There you go.
Just because I'm only doing 16-second bits. So I'm not doing lengthy, time. The full video is out there for those who want to go look. But
Don't forget, if you do under 32 seconds, you need 100% view time for that video to take off. If you go to 32 seconds and above, you only need 80%.
See, this is small.
Video for like 32.3 seconds, you only need 80% view duration.
I haven't looked to see the total completely, but I mean, my channel's busting at the seams anyway, because I mean, that's the way it goes. And I'm thankful for that, because I do all these nutty things. But it's really interesting because I've kind of started messing with the ones I did with the wild bases, and I did the alembic,
Hmm.
I did the double neck, the ricks. Um, I've got a couple that I'm holding back on because there's a few that are just crackers, but people love those things because they look at that and go, "I want that,"
Mm.
and it's bonkers. It's just bonkers.
Okay.
So I'm appreciative of everybody who checks them out, and then I get some little blips and beats and comments and bits and bobs and all that. So that's perfect.
But it's lovely because you haven't got to refilm anything. You've got
No,
that
I
content there already.
yeah, I have a whole library, and actually, I've still got, let's see, one, two, three, four. I've still got four guitars sitting here that I
Mm.
need to actually do a full length video on. So
Yeah.
that'll give me, I can make some automatic shorts out of those.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tend to do with the long form stuff now. I know what the long form thing is going to be, and I
Hmm.
try and work out in the script what shorts can I remix out of this.
Yep.
So for me, I'm always thinking ahead. Every long form piece will have some shorts coming out of it, uh,
Hmm.
but then you can still do shorts that you're making from scratch,
Sure.
which again are a different thing. A different thing again.
Right.
Because
And
what
I've
I
got,
was trying to do when they first launched that feature, I was trying to take the finger style, the pick style, and the slap style out of each of the review videos. But sometimes you needed to have more of the thing play, and I thought no one's going to watch a minute of this.
mhm.
And lo and behold, the analytics showed that. So sometimes you've got to be a bit sort of focused on what you're trying to do with that short, but it works, it generates traffic, and again, a lot of the things with the shorts, it's not people going to look for it, although those results will come up in the search feed.
Sure.
It's just the algorithm presenting it to people to say you might like this, watch this, and
Hmm. And
that's
these
how
are
it
quick.
goes.
These are quick
Yeah,
because I mean,
yeah.
literally the longest one is 16 seconds.
Mm,
And I mean, I think because they go by so quick, you can't just kind of go,
mm,
because you're not sitting there for 30 seconds or a minute. You're sitting there for, hi, gone,
yeah,
you know?
that's right.
So that's,
Although
that's,
I did a couple of experiments with like 8 second videos, and they still didn't get 100%.
mm. I'll be looking at
Um,
I'll look at the analytics as we go because I
do
haven't dug into it yet. I figured I'd just give it a shot for a minute and see what it would do.
Yeah, I've got my two of my first. Sorry, gang, it's turned into a chat about YouTube. Two of the first three great things shorts that I did, which were an experiment, see if it worked. To begin with, they didn't really take off. They got a couple of hundred views each, and it was like, okay, right. And then over time, for some
Hmm.
reason, I think some of it might have been to do with the fact that for those first four, I did 16 by 9 thumbnails, so landscape thumbnails instead of vertical thumbnails, because back then you could.
Hmm.
Now you can only create a thumbnail if you're doing it on the mobile device. You can't do it on the desktop version for a short.
Right, right.
And I think what generated huge views for the Dingwall and the Aria three great things was the fact that they had those widescreen thumbnails, but and they are a minute long. They're about 58 seconds long, both of them. But over time, people saw those thumbnails and clicked on them when they searched, not knowing they were shorts. They
Hmm.
thought it was a long form video, and it wasn't. It was a short. Both of those videos have clocked up, I think, about 13,000 views each.
Right, right. Well, I'm
So they
looking
were. So
here.
people were searching Dingwall NG2. That short was coming up, but with a wide landscape thumbnail. So
Hmm. Yep. So I've got 89% flowing.
on a video.
So it shows me like how they find the shorts. And the viewers are engaged at 40% stay to watch, 60% wipe away.
Okay.
So that's where
Yeah.
we are.
What? Hang on. Let me get into my analytics and I'll see if I can shed some light on this for you. Do do do. Help see
The
if I click on
Olympic
a
is
video.
the Olympic is the big winner right now.
That's not surprising.
Mm-mm.
Right, if I click on that video, so if you click on a short in the content section, then go to on the first part overview, it will say this short has got however many views since it was published. You've then got the graph. You've then got key moments for audience retention, stay to watch percentage, average view duration. So for me on that video lasts 59 seconds. I've got an average view duration of 47. So 67.5 at the moment. That was actually knocking up at around 75 a couple of months ago.
So here's what's funny. So, like I said, 16 seconds approximate. The average view duration is 13 of the 16.
Right.
So they're staying for almost the whole thing. Fun.
But like I say, anything under 32 seconds, you've got to get 100%. Once
Right.
you hit 32 seconds in length, that drops to 80.
Yep. Yep, I get that.
Crazy, man.
Fun times.
That's it. Yeah. And it's ever changing, so you never know what's working and what doesn't.
That's a fact. And so I'm exploring and experimenting right now anyway.
Bill, you've just sent a picture of the back of a Warwick. Okay, of the Warwick Nobby. Ah, there we go. Now that makes more sense to me. Right. Okay. What you wouldn't want to do is skewer your stomach open with that bit of metal. So, yeah, okay. All right, I kind of get the context of it now. Let's see, would that work?
That gives new meaning to being gutted.
Yeah, that might work. I wonder if, yeah, I'm going to send an email to Warwick, actually, once we've finished tonight. See what they say. See if I can get hold of Nicholas Wilfer. He knows me from magazine days, so
There you go.
he might respond. Yeah, okay, and we'll go there. Right, I'll deal with that once we've finished. Richard, some guy. No, I wouldn't risk my double basses. Very good. Mr. Richard, if you're across the pond, disparity of instrument age from us. Okay. He's in the UK. People who do the double bass rockabilly thing usually have a very cheap plywood painted instrument. Yes, that's exactly it. Keep the nice ones for recording. Some are old. My main double bass was actually made in 74. That was a good year. I was born 2 years before that, but there we are.
4 for me.
My buddy was selling a Czech bass from the 30s. Wow, okay. That'll be a pretty penny. Bill Derbyshire, it sits and plays way better than you expect. Okay, I'll see what Warwick say. If they will send me one of those bars. I'm looking at that, and I hope it doesn't scratch up the back of the bass. You'd be really peed off, because Warwicks aren't cheap anyway. I mean, this isn't an expensive bass, but if you've got that metal, but people can't see what I'm talking about. Actually, I can share it, can't I? Right,
Pop
here
it
we
up,
go, gang.
Yep.
I'll pop it up, shall I?
Pop it up, then.
I'll pop it. We want. No, don't want to share that. There we go. And I'll try and boost it up a bit for you. See if you can see that.
That's what I was referring to. That little thing. Yep, that's what I was thinking.
See if I can zoom that in a bit. Let's see. No, it goes the opposite direction. No. Okay, it gets to a point where it doesn't like it. It's probably about the biggest I'm going to get that. So basically there's this metal bar there. But I'm just worried, like, if you're pressing that bass and that piece of metal up against you, I know how a bass jigs around when I'm playing. And if that is literally held in by a screw, it's going to have some it doesn't matter how tight you do it, it's going to be some movement on it, some gumption. And if that spins round, you're pressing the metal bar against the body as well. Big old gouges out of the back and your stomach as well. Looks a little funky. I don't know how it's It might not be so bad on the Bootsy because that horn goes up and out. And I can't say the strap button has caused me any problems, but I don't use a strap lock on it. I use a rubber washer.
Right.
So that could... I don't know. I'm trying to get my head around it. Right, let's unshare that. So that screen. Yep. Right, some guy. Another friend has one made out of metal with a bullet hole through it from World War II.
Oh,
These are
yes.
the heirloom pieces we're talking.
The double bass, yeah. Metal ones, they sound like a cavern. You hit on it and it just reverberates the entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Had one once.
Richard, you were born 1969. Very good. Very
Cheers,
good.
man.
Yeah, so here we are. I'm looking at time. Cool, coming up nearly 2 hours. Excellent. 5 to 10 here in London, here in the UK. Considerably earlier at your neck of the woods.
Five till four. 5 till 4.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's tea time.
That's it.
Time for
Tiffin
tea.
time. That's
right.
it. Quite cake and tea.
Right.
So I'm trying to think, what news have I got since last week? So what did I do last week? We had live chat Tuesday. Of course, I normally do this at the top of the show, but I didn't. So last Wednesday I had Supersonic Queen over at the Excel Centre, and that was grand. Getting to the Excel Centre, yeah, that was an interesting experience. And carrying, I only had a gig bag with my bass, my cables, three pedals, tuner, drop pedal, and the tone hammer preamp. And then all my clothes in a costume bag, and also in that bag were loads and loads of these. We had loads of empty album sleeves. These were for advertising purposes 30 odd years ago. And there was these and loads of Miracle ones, and I gave them to the singer from the Queen band. He's going to use them as backdrops for social media purposes.
Nice.
And I had about 30 of them, and so it weighed a ton, you can imagine. But anyway, they've gone to a good home and they'll get used.
Perfect.
Let's see, Patrick Sweeney, you were born in 1892. Well, you're doing well then.
Carrying
Stacey
on.
Ann, got you by a year, Richard. She's 68 vintage.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Yeah.
It says Rickenbacker on it.
That's it. Patrick, you'd be farting dust by now. Correct.
Lovely.
There we are. So that was Supersonic Queen. It was an odd gig. We were supposed to go on at 5 o'clock till 5:30. At 20 to 5, they said, we want you on in 3 minutes. We said, that's not happening. You told us 5. We've still got to get changed. They were hurrying us out of the changing room. Get down the stage. We want you on immediately. Got to be on immediately. Got to be on immediately. We get down there. Oh, can you hold on 10 minutes? We eventually went on at 6:15. They said, you've got to be finished by 6. You can't go a minute over. We finished at 17 minutes past 6. So, yeah, read into that what you will when it comes to corporates. So that was that. And then I'm trying to think what I had Request Show on Friday in Greek Street Live. That was great. We did it as a 4-piece instead of a 5. No guitar, but we had trumpet.
There you go.
So it was trumpet, keys, bass, drums. And it went off. It was fab. We had a right old time. And I didn't have a gig Saturday or Sunday, so nicely refreshed. So this week is Uncle Funk Decades of Dance in Bishop Stortford. So if you're coming along, let me know. If you want to come along, I can sort guest list and tickets and passes and all that sort of thing out. And we are on, I think, around 8 o'clock. Actually, let me just check the band diary so I can be accurate on these things. Let's have a look. No, it doesn't say in there. Right, it'll be on the band chat then, because I know someone was asking the other day. Is it that one? Might be that one. 9 till 10, 10:30 till 11:30 apparently.
Okay.
But that's the latest we can do. So I suspect we'll probably go on about 8:30. 2 1-hour sets. All the biggest hits of dance music from the late 70s right up to the current day. And that's what we do.
Sounds good.
That is that. So next couple of days, so filming, editing tomorrow. Thursday, I'm putting the pedal board together. Going to film that. Been promising it for years. It's getting done. So that will be the board for Uncle Funk, Decades of Dance and Disco Inferno. So I actually put the board together when we did the first Decades of Dance show, but I didn't tie everything down and I didn't have the big power supply. Now I have. That needs to get bolted to the pedal board, and the pedals all done, linked up, cable tie the cables, they're all in place, nothing's moving. So that will be a video that I'll probably put up next week, actually, if I get it filmed on Thursday. Friday, run the sets twice. I ran it today, ran it Monday, and then gig Saturday. So should be good.
Sounds like you're ready to go.
Should we go? I hope so. Richard, what have you put there, Patrick? The arthritis must be bad on gigs at your age, correct? So that's what that, yeah. You old timers, you.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. So, yeah. So it's just hit 10 o'clock here in London. You're very welcome. Coming to you live from London here in the UK. Live chat 108 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. You're very welcome to be here. We're talking basses, bass amps, bass guitars, bass effects, bass accessories, strings, gig bags, great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. You want to talk bass, this is the place to do it.
That's
it's
right.
the only weekly bass live chat that I can find on YouTube. I can't find any others.
Better.
There are some channels that do one-offs now and again, but no one does a regular weekly live chat. If there is,
Funny how
I
that
can't
works.
find it.
Funny how that works.
No one else seems to do them. I don't know why.
Nope,
I've looked on every day of the week at different times of day. Can't find any.
I think it's just because we have Stacy.
Well, it could be that.
It could be Stacy.
It's certainly not me.
Or me.
But yeah, so there we go. There we go.
Yep.
Have you discussed Nick Campbell Destroys on here yet, Mike? No. Elaborate. Illuminate, Richard. Tell me what you're talking about. I think I've got a hound. Oh, well. Here we go. Sorry, you'll just have to hold on a minute. I'm going to main screen. Bear with me.
Poof.
Yeah. Come here, you. Come here. Come here. Don't go running off. Come here. Come here. Come and see your dad. I know you want to go out for a week. You're just going to have to hold on a minute. Here we go. The hound is in. Charlie, say hello to the world. There we are.
There he is.
Three-legged chihuahua. Oh, you love your dad. I know. Oh, I know. He'll have been with us 2 years in about 3 weeks' time. So, and I've had loads of people asking today. We went for a lovely walk at the Common, didn't we? Yes, we did. And I had loads of people going, how does he walk? How does he survive? Have no fear. These dogs with 3 legs, they just learn it. They work it out for themselves. This dog goes like a bullet. He has a fabulous life. He wants for nothing. Do you, darling? No.
And he eats cake.
No. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Have some cake, lad.
Labrador would help himself to the cake without asking. No, you have a very good diet, don't you? Yeah, and he has lovely walks, and he has everything he needs. He gets well looked after and loved, and he's fabulous, aren't you? Yeah. Where's your brother? Is he still sleeping upstairs? Is he? I thought he might be. Do you love your dad? Yes, you do. Oh, I know. Look, there's people all over the world there. Look. There. Are you a gorgeous boy? Oh, you're having a clean. Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Having a quick valet.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Good boy. You want me to let you out? Do I need to let you out, or can you just hold it in for about 40 minutes?
I think the tongue told it all.
I think you'll wait. They went out just before I started. So.
There you go.
Come on then. I'll let you out shortly, okay? You just stay there if you want. Do you want to stay there? I can't carry you the whole time, unfortunately. Do you want me to let you out? Because if I let you out and you don't go out, then we've got a problem, haven't we? Hello. I know what he wants. He wants his to have their dentist sticks, and it's that time of night. You
Oh,
know what a
yes.
dog's bell is like. It's like an egg timer.
Mm-hmm.
I will sort it as soon as we're done, darling. Yeah. Yes. And if I don't get it, he's going to start barking. I'll tell you what, guys, just give me literally 30 seconds. I will sort this and I'll be back. 2 seconds.
Yeah, go on.
In fact, I'll leave you in the capable hands of this fine chap. You can
Oh,
entertain
yeah.
him for 2 seconds. You can have
I
a
think
chat.
I
You can go
can.
through the live chat and have a chat. How about
Well,
that?
hold on. I can do that. Yeah, of course.
Right then.
Right.
Come on. Quick.
Okay, so coming on the live chat then.
Wade, you're on live.
There we go. Let's see. Who's in here now? Okay, so let's see. Give me Java saying hello from the States. That's cool. Hello, hello. Let's see. Session player. Oh, yes, who plays for Pomplamoose, among others. Right. Richard, I see that. Stunning player gets amazing sound with an old Music Master with a mystery bridge pickup. Yeah. It could be fun on that one, really. There's the Fender series that they came out with that has the redone kind of Music Master and Mustang bit where they put precision and jazz pickups in it. Could be something like that, just with the old front pickup. One doesn't know. So yeah, anything's possible. I think I know who you're speaking about, though. If he's the LA session guy, let me see. There's another guy out there who does a lot of LA session work. I'm trying to remember what his name is. Jeez, I should know this. What's his name? Justin Meldal Johnson, JMJ. He and I actually share a birthday. He's got a custom Fender, one of the Mustangs or Music Master basses. Yeah, you've got it. The American Performer. Right. So if you see the JMJ model, that is the Justin Meldal Johnson model. He's the one who plays with Beck and does a ton of session work out in LA. He's got like Noel Redding hair. Yeah, right. You were talking about Nick Campbell. Right. I just got off on a side for a second. I got you. So yeah, but no, I'd have to go look and see the what the bass he was playing with the extra pickup. I'd have to go take a gander real fast. It's all good there.
This has served me well.
How about that?
Sorry about that.
So Richard is speaking about Nick Campbell, and I just mentioned Justin Meldal Johnson because kind of tying in the Music Master Mustang bass kind of deal. So,
give me Java's here. Hello from the States. Howdy, good man.
Oh, some guy says he's got a Jag. All right, that's good.
There we go. Richard, he's the LA session bass player who plays for Pomplamoose, amongst others. Okay.
Yep.
Stunning player, basically gets amazing sounds with an old Fender Music Master with a mystery bridge pickup. Okay, cool. Looks like their bass would have radio bass tones. Okay. You got an American Performer Mustang with the PJ setup. I was talking about Nick Campbell. Cool. No, Justin Meldal Johnson, Mexican Mobile Mustang is very highly regarded.
Right.
Certainly are.
Yes.
Yep, all of that. There we go. Need to check those players out. Yeah, Justin Meldal Johnson's, cool, he's been around, well, good 30 years, I think.
Easily.
Playing with Beck.
Right. I spoke with him a lot when I had the walls because he was interested. He ended up with the Pro 2E. And then we spoke about the Mark 1s because I had 5 of them at the time. Imagine that.
As you do.
As you do.
Series 2000s here.
Right. Well, I mean, because I was only picking them up for 800. So, I mean, nobody was like going ballistic bunkers about the walls yet. So, hey, John Cooper's with us.
Yes. John, you've missed the earlier part of the video. We've done the bass with the new strap. It didn't work.
We talked about giving the dog cake, it's a kind of
thing. Dog's cake, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but no, the strap didn't work. So if you, when the live chat's finished, or you can actually, I think you can go into YouTube and watch this and move along to wherever up to the point that we are live. You'll see I put the Bootsy bass on the new strap, the zero gravity strap. It didn't work, sadly. much to my annoyance. But there we go.
Dismay.
It's not their fault. It didn't claim it could do it. It was just a punt, an unlucky punt on my behalf. Yes, talking about the Bootsy. Yes, exactly. So we've been discussing this further. There's a couple of other possible solutions which I'm going to look into tomorrow. If the belt thing can work, then I'm quite happy with that. But it's just because I'm trying to think if I twist, because I don't use a leather belt. I've got a fabric belt for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. I normally tilt that round to the right so that the buckle's not in front, so I don't get any buckle scrapes on the base. So if that's round, I kind of need to ascertain where I want that base to sit, and then I have to work out where on the belt I'm going to put the strap button and lock, so that there's no movement on that strap. And it has to be exact. So, I mean, I'll always put the belt in the same place anyway. So if that's kind of thinking, it kind of needs to be, yeah, it's going to need to go round to my right. Yeah, okay. I'll look into this tomorrow. It might be a very quick and easy solution. I'm trying to think what strap. See, I'm trying to think of a strap I've got that's got the long trailing section, because a lot of these straps don't have that. And I'm just thinking, I have a Dingwall strap here that might do the job. How about that? Or I've got my old Bass Center Elite straps here. There we go. Yeah, there we are. And I'm wondering if that might... Certainly that might prove useful for doing like a dry run, do a test. So I've got one of those. It's got that. And actually it's already pre-drilled. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So that actually, I'm wondering. So that has the button on the back. So there's literally not a whole lot of... It would be very exact. Do you know what? I'm going to do it while we're on it. Let me get the bass out. I can't hear you, by the way, because I've taken the earphones off.
That's all right.
So I've not adjusted this. Let's see. I would need to. But then I've got a bit of extra length on this still, so it's not so bad. Go that way. So if I have that, yeah, see, that's too high up. It is long. It is long. I'd have to stand over there and you won't hear it because I'll be off mic. So it's already right. So
See if you can reach first position, F.
If we dropped it down a tad, I'm going to have to tilt that strap a little. That's no hardship. So literally, I'm just trying to see if I hold that strap in place against where I think a belt would be. Okay. No, that we might have just solved it.
How easy.
Here we go. Right, so I'm at the moment I've got my thumb pressing the strap against where it's hooked on to the back of the bass. And I'm just thinking. So see, the other thing about having the buttons on the back, your strap goes very wonky. So I've got it as per normal there, but you have to twist it the other way when it goes to the lower button, otherwise the thing just flies off the strap. But what I could have, I'm trying to see if I can show you, there's a little bit, oh, sorry John, I've got to take your message off, mate. And then I've got a banner there.
And then there's that.
So I have a small section of strap left here. And I'm suddenly thinking, if I put a strap button on my belt that I wear with that costume and have it so it's going, you can't, oh, bloody microphone, sorry. If I have it, so if I have a button pushing through from my belt going, so the strap is reversed, that might well, it will certainly keep it anchored at that point. And it's as tight as can be. Could work. There won't be any room for error, and if a string went or whatever, I'm gonna have to release. It would be that on a strap lock. I'd have to take it off there. Oh well. Points of consideration. It might be the blandest strap I've got wins the day. Well, the other option would be to cut. You can't really do it. It's fabric, and if you cut into fabric, it just goes. No, can't. I was wondering if I could add an extra tail piece onto the end of the strap, but you can't. But I think this might be the thing that saves the day.
How
I'll
about
try
that?
it. I'll do a dry run tomorrow with. I'll have to get a bradawl, create a hole in that. Yeah, how are you going to secure the button to the belt? Haven't worked that bit out. How do you secure the button to the belt? The strap button?
It would probably have to go through the belt.
But well, quite. But what is it securing to?
Well, it's probably it might be one of those things that has like a little plate on the back with teeth, and it drills in, and you screw it together.
That's yeah. Well, let's have a little look at old Stephen J's video.
Hmm.
Doesn't really go particularly close up. Ah, okay. So he's got the strap lock on the strap, right? Yeah, that's all very good, mate. We want to see the technology at the other end. Yes, I think you're right. I think there must be some sort of fastener on the back end of the screw that's
Hmm.
coming through the strap button on the belt.
Hmm. Because it's basically just anchoring it on that side.
Because basically, when you screw a screw into something, it's gripping to the material it's going through. Couldn't do that on a fabric belt
Hmm.
or a leather belt. There's nothing for it to grip, nothing sizable
You could,
material.
but on a leather belt, it would have to be two plates that would encompass, and then through
Yeah.
the middle is where the button and the screw would go.
Put it out to you fine people. It's normally people coming asking me for advice. What do you think? How do I attach a strap button to a fabric belt that doesn't move, can't come off, won't fly into the middle of nowhere? So I'm just scrolling back through these messages. Some guy, we had small manufacturer down here, Melancon. He built a guitar a month until he died of cancer recently. He built for Aerosmith and a bunch of others. Cool. Um, you said you've seen those. Never heard of Melancon. Okay. The values of his builds shot up when he passed, of course. Yeah. That's the same with JD. Yeah. Pronounced French Mel Ornson. Very good. By the way, did anyone see the Johnny Dibble video today on headless basses? I haven't. He flashed a picture of a 70s Fender headless prototype. I have seen that before. I haven't seen his video. I've got no axe to grind with Johnny Dibble. I watched a video of his this morning. It popped up in my feed. I generally don't watch videos by other creators. It's just I've got too much to do, and what they do is what they do, and what I do is what I do. I actually watched one of his old videos, and after about 2 minutes, I couldn't watch. I couldn't get on with his presenting style. It was kind of driving me a bit mad. No, don't know the guy. I've never met him. Good luck to him. I hope his channel does. He's a million more subscribers than I have, and that's fine. That's by the by. But the presentation style, I just couldn't get on with it. It was like he was having a conversation with himself.
They do that in rubber rooms.
Yeah. So, Richard, in answer to your question, no, I haven't seen it, but I will check it out. Some guy, my buddy plays one that were okay. Grammys are more common than I thought, and the voting process is obscure. Okay. Stage stand for the bass, and you don't even have to hold it. Okay, we're going across different conversations here. Then he can dance all over and run back. Yeah. Richard. Okay, you agree with me. I think I may have watched 2 or 3 of his clips about 3 years ago. But as I've said on live chats before, I tend not to watch other YouTube bass creators because A, I don't want to copy what they're doing, and B, subconsciously, even if you don't intentionally copy something, if you keep watching people's stuff, you'll start picking up on their things. And I don't really want to do that. And Bagiti Kumalu said something similar when I interviewed him, and I said to him, well, who do you listen to? What sort of bands do you like? What sort of albums do you listen to? He said, I don't listen to anyone else. He said, I don't want to colour my thinking in terms of bass playing. So I don't listen to other bass players. I generally don't listen to a lot of other material. He used to, but he doesn't. But I kind of have the same approach with the YouTube thing. I'm just so busy concentrating on getting my own stuff right that I can't even begin to start sitting there watching what other creators do. I just don't. And I know some people think it's kind of weird that I don't do it. It's not that it has no relevance, but the way one person does something and the way I do it can be 2 totally different things. And I don't want my approach to look like I'm copying someone else. So best that I just don't watch what they're doing. And it's not that I don't appreciate what they're doing, or I really like Danny Sapko, and I know some people are starting to sort of fight back on what he does, but I'd rather watch him because I find it funny and entertaining rather than watching someone else's review of a bass or whatever. But I just caught one of Johnny Dibble's older clips today, and it's just like I found it hard work to watch. I just couldn't. I was like, I can't sit through 12 minutes of this. It will just send me crackers, and I don't want to think like that about another creator. So I thought, no, best you stop watching there. But okay, John Cooper. Right, exciting week for me. I bought the 71 Fender Jazz. Excellent. From a great guy, West End pro player, Dan Giles. You know what? I get told about Dan Giles all the time. Our trumpet player has worked with him, and she constantly says to me, when you need a bass step, get Dan Giles. We need a bass step. But I so rarely need a bass step in Uncle Funk that I've never got him. He has a YouTube channel, I think. I've never met him. I don't know him. I don't think we've ever spoken. The bass plays wonderfully and has mojo to spare. It will share the stage with my S2. I'm glad it's worked out for you, John.
That works.
Excellent. Time for a pick, absolutely. Richard, I've sent you a picture of the Fender prototype on email. Thank you, Richard. Let's have a little look there, shall we? See if it's the same picture. Yes, it is. It's the same one. We had to do some research on a book Joel was writing stuff for. Oh, God, I think it was around about 2013. And there was talk about this Fender headless, and that was the picture. Yeah, I can share that with everyone if you want to see that.
While you're doing that, I found an Alembic at a good price.
What model?
Series 1, 1978.
Okay.
Kind of surprising since we said we're going around the bend with all this. 6,500 comes with,
That's
let's
good.
see, 34.
Where is this?
It's actually about 30 minutes from me.
Ah,
So it's in my
okay.
backyard almost.
Yeah.
That's ebony board, purple heart and maple neck. Looks like a walnut top. Case and power supply, no cord, plays great, will ship. Okay.
Okay. Price is pretty good. Still need the cord though. And if
Right.
he ain't providing, you've got to go and buy one. And they're not cheap. They're about 500 quid, I think.
I was going to say, I know it's a few hundred for that, but it's interesting that it popped up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Richard. John has a S2 Classic status. Danny Sapko is hilarious. Yeah, it works for me. I find his humour because I'm not taking him seriously. But he seems like a very nice, genuine guy. And actually, if you watch his earlier videos and how he's changed his presentation style, that's made all the difference. So if it works for him, I can't do what he does. I could go on and be rude and cantankerous and a bit acidic. We could do that. I don't think it would work on my channel based on what I've done already. But who knows? You never know. There might be a change at some point. I can do that acidic bloke. John Cooper, thanks Jamie. We'll email some pics, including an update to the man cave. Excellent. Give me Java. You gotta love Danny Sapko. Great videos for this.
Biz.
Oh, it's up north. It is. He's good actually. We've chatted a couple of times on Messenger, and he's a busy chap, you know. And this is the other thing. It's like very hard to look at other people's channels when you're so busy. But see, his stuff is predominantly shorts these days, so it's quick. You can take it, watch it, enjoy it, and move on sort of quite quick. Whereas long form videos are different thing.
Right.
So yeah. Let's go there. That's better. Yeah. So Dan Giles, yes, never met him, but know of him. So yeah, we've never crossed paths. It's funny, sort of the younger brigade. I always assume they've sort of read the stuff I've done in the mags, or they might have heard my name or whatever. Most of them haven't got a clue. If I go up as a younger bass player and I go, "Hi, I'm Mike Brooks. I used to write for," or I don't say it instantly, but when you get into a conversation, they say, "You know, what sort of stuff have you done?" You roll off something. No, I don't know that. Oh, I used to write for Bass Guitar Magazine. Oh, right, okay. Does the name ring a bell? No, never read it. So before their time, magazines. You see, everyone wants everything online. I just need to put this bass back in its gig bag because it's going to
Go
fall
for it.
over otherwise.
All right. Bootsy to the case. So who else do you all look at besides Danny Sapko and Johnny Dibble? Who else do you guys check out for bass stuff? I'm just curious. Put it in the chat so I can see it as well, because I can see it not quite like Mike, but I can still see it. Because, you know, we could talk about all kinds of guys, all kinds of stuff.
Headphones, I can't hear what the man's saying. There we go.
Oh, I was just telling stories, you know.
Some guy, I don't know who anybody is, and I'm amazed when people expect it. It's so the story I was just recounting about Bass Guitar Magazine was that I wrote for it for 16 years and 4 years on bass player. So the older brigade, people who are just a little younger than me and the same age and older, they pretty much read a lot of the stuff I used to write. And I get people at companies, distributors. When we were at Nick's funeral, there were a few people who said, "What's happened to you? I haven't heard of you, or where have you been? What have you been doing?" I said, "Well, I've had a YouTube channel for 4.5 years."
Right.
Have you? Yeah. What do you think I've been doing since the magazine stopped? And actually, that started before the magazine stopped. Oh my God! Oh, well, we need to get some gear out to you. Yeah, great, lovely. Where have you been? Where have you been? But the younger guys, because a lot of them didn't buy magazines. They've just grown up with reading all their base information and content online. Right. That's fine. Oliver Bowen, good to see you. I see a lovely alembic on the wall. Yeah, there's 2 here. Actually, there's 3 here. What am I talking about? I'm so used to saying 2. There's actually 3.
They're
So you got
multiplying.
Mark King's signature standard there, yeah. 20th anniversary there. And there's a lovely Persuader with humbuckers in the rack. So, yeah. Richard, I like the videos from Scott's bass lessons. Again, I don't watch any of it. I think last time I watched something from Scott was probably about 3 years ago. And it was just, it got presented in my feed and I quickly sort of clicked on it. I think that the title might have sort of drawn me in. And that's it. I just don't watch the content. And people say to me, how can you not watch what you compete? I don't think of the other creators as competitors. We're all doing our own thing. You can't copy what another person has done. You can't replicate the way the algorithm's going to work. So there's no point. I mean, I had someone a while back said, oh, I'm going to copy what you've done on your channel and because that's going to work. And it's like, no, go and do something different. It might work even better. You know, the stuff that's here on the channel is what I did at that time. Some of it I'd probably go back and change now, but you can only do your own path on YouTube, and the algorithm is constantly changing. It is not the same as it was 5 years ago. Different things register differently. You have to be aware of all that. You can't just stick your head in the sand and go, right, well, I'm going to do a year's worth of gear reviews. It might work. I have a feeling it probably ain't. You're going to bore people at some point, and sometimes you just got to mix things up in the way you present it. So, yeah, that's kind of my thing. Charles Berto, again, I know the guy. I watched the video when he did Hotel California and then got called out for it. That was just clickbait. He knew what he was doing. He shouldn't have done it.
Right.
Stu Clayton. What about Stu Clayton? What did you want to
I just threw him in the mix because, you know, he's got a pink JD.
Well, of course. Stu, I've got a lot of time for. But again, I haven't watched any of his stuff. I get Stu's stuff comes up in my Facebook feed. So then I'll click on the video. But if I'm here on YouTube, I don't tend to search out his stuff. And there is a JD over there. There's a Series 3. Yeah.
See, now you're in trouble.
Spotted, sir. See,
now you're in trouble.
I daren't tip the camera because if you start seeing the racks, he's going to be... I don't want to give you... what's it called? What would you call it? Gear fetish.
Base envy.
Yeah.
Base envy.
Yeah, all of that.
Well, if you have a JD and it goes back to JD for a refret and a refinish, you kind of have the radar happening, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Some guy, I was the magazine manager at Books A Million and glanced a bit. Oh, well, you've probably seen some of the stuff. Like, I started writing for Bass Guitar magazine in... the first product was sent to me at the end of... No, actually, it wasn't the end. It was around about autumn time 2003. I wrote the review and then it sat with the editor for about 4 months. It got published in February, March 2004. And then I did another article about 2 months later. And then I was the co-writer on the big strings feature that we did in June 2004, which actually formed part of Adrian Ashton's book. And that was it. From that point on, I started to get more and more review stuff. And then the interview stuff started once Joel McIver became editor. And that's where that bit unfolded, because up to that point, Adrian, Steve Harvey, Nick Wells, Ben Cooper, they basically had the bulk of the interview work and they would distribute bits sparingly, but I wasn't privy to that. But once Joel came on board, he said, do you want to do some interviews? I went, absolutely. He said, good, there you go. Gave me a list of people and you're going to interview them. Get on with it. And that was that. Patrick Sweeney, Ian Martin Allison is a real bone to Scott's bass lessons. I think you meant boon. I think predictive text has got the better of you there, Patrick. He's a real bone.
He's a bone.
That's a cracker. Well, I have to put that up. There we are. Look at that. Patrick.
Well played, man.
Try
well
and
played.
keep this channel clean, please.
Nobbery, he said.
That's a belter. That's going on the classic clips when I get around to putting that together. Well done, sir.
Yes,
10
indeed.
points to you. Thanks for playing.
Mm.
Some guy played punk back then for no cheese. Okay. Patrick, also Bass Buzz is entertaining. I like Bass Buzz. Again, I watched one or two of that guy's videos sort of early on in the life of this channel. And I'm on their forum. I don't tend to go on. I don't get involved in forums too much because I'm just too busy trying to sift through all the stuff that comes my way every day for this. But occasionally I'll go on there. If someone mentions me and they want to get into a conversation, then I'll go on there and have a chat. And if anyone on here is watching that, yeah, you can talk to me on Bass Buzz's forum, and as soon as I get a notification that I've been mentioned, I'll go in and have a chat. Some guy, you've seen my face. Probably on Crime Watch or something like that. No, I'm joking. Yeah.
Scotland Yard is waiting.
I know where he's seen my face because I used to have columns at the back of Bass Guitar magazine. There would be a photo. So it was without the hat, and I'm not taking the hat off because I've got bad rosacea today. Without the glasses, yeah. With a face like that, you got nothing to shout about. Quite right, Rod. You knew a thing or two. It's in print. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Yes. That's a classic, Patrick. Well done. Someone should copy that, sort of do a screen grab and send that to Ian, Martin Allison, and Scott, and see what they say. You're in a real bone.
You're a bone, yes.
Good job you didn't get an R at the end of that.
Oh.
That would have made it just too much. I would have had to have shut you down at that point, Patrick. Yeah. Yes, some guy. That's me. So I'm trying to think. First column I wrote for the mag would have been 2013. That would have been the cover stories. 2013? Yeah, it was 2013. I think last week I said in the live chat, I think I did 13 or 14 columns. I didn't. I think it was about 20. In fact, let's just get to the crux of it, shall we? I did the cover stories column. Old columns, here we go. Cover stories. We did 21. I did 21 columns. So yeah, you had to sit and look at my miserable face on those columns. So that's where you recognise the face from, probably. As well as Crime Watch. Yeah.
That's like saying you have a face for radio.
Goes without saying.
That's what people say. I'm like, there's that one, you know. Not saying that for you, but you know what I mean.
Oh, well, no, it is. As I'm getting older, I'm 53 at the end of the month.
Look at
It
you.
is getting that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Halcyon days, man. Halcyon days.
Best days are ahead.
Yes. Well, I hope so. Yes, so that's my take on the whole creator thing. I tend not to look at other people's columns. It's not that I don't want to. I just haven't got the time to do it. And when I have busy periods with gigs, and I realise he's just bombed out, so he'll come back on in a moment. When I'm busy with gigs and there's other things going on and life is taking over, I just don't have the time to watch other channels. And it's not that I don't want the other channels to do really well. I do. And I hope everyone does really well on YouTube. Obviously, Scott's way ahead of everyone else. And good luck to him. And he sort of grasped the nettle very early and what the possibilities with a YouTube channel were. We're all in his air current, if you like. We're all behind his flow. But I just do what I do, and I hope some people out there enjoy what I do. Hope you enjoy the reviews. Hope you enjoy the demos. I'm going to try and get more of the vintage interviews up. It's just so much to do, and it's just me. And because I'm not full time with this, because I've got all the gigs and stuff, they take priority. But I've tried this year to start doing more regular stuff. Past 2-3 weeks have been harder because I've had Queen stuff to do for a different Queen band. I had to learn their Your Phone Died. Oh dear. Right, yes, so I've gone back to me on the screen at the moment. and I had to learn their arrangements, and there were a couple of medleys in there that were a little tricky, and you had to get them right. So that's kind of been taking up my time, and the Decades of Dance show, because we had a rehearsal the other week, and we've got the show this week. So that's kind of brought sort of the long form editing to a bit of an abrupt halt, because I was building up a good head of steam. I was back. I was building a good head of steam there. Welcome back. And so tomorrow is all about editing for me, and Gig Vlog 4 going up. Gig Vlog 5 will be later in the week, and I'm going to try and put the Bootsy bass and the straps. I've filmed a video today. I just need to edit it up, get it on the channel. 8-string Ibanez, eh?
So this is your Dave Swift special.
He'd love that.
All right.
Not sure he'd use it, but he'd love it.
Yep.
There we are. Of course we enjoy it. That's why we're here. Thank you, Richard.
That's right.
Thank you. People who watch the live chats every week, watch the channel, you know how I present. You know what I'm going to do. And hopefully you think there's a level of quality to it. Maybe some of the other channels don't do. And I've always said I will be as honest with things like reviews as I possibly can. I'm not beholden to any other company. I don't get sponsorship from anyone. My endorsements as a player with Rotosound and Aguilar, I'll paint them in the best picture I can. But if Aguilar sent me a load of gear and I thought it was crap, I'd say it was. If Rotosound sent me some strings and they were duff, I'll tell you.
Yep.
I'm not, as I say, I'm not beholden to any company. So if anything I buy, if it's not good, I'm going to tell you. If I review something like the Yamaha BB235 that came here for review, which I've still got, I haven't sent back. I need to get in touch with Yamaha in London for that. It's got a bad tuner. One of the machine heads rattles when you play an open string, yet if you press it from behind, it stops rattling. Well, that should never have made it as far as me getting that. And I pointed it out on the review video. It's like, come on, Yamaha, you can do better than this. So hopefully people will always come to the channel for reviews, knowing that you're going to get an honest opinion. It's going to be my opinion. But if something's good, I'll say it's good. And if I think it's rubbish or there's a problem, I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't have a reason not to tell you, and I'm not going to have a company come to me and go, you can't say that. Well, I can, because I've got it here, and it's, on that case with that bass, that machine head's duff. It shouldn't have left the factory like that, and your quality control missed it. So that's what. Oliver Bowen, more JDs.
Son,
speak to him.
Just a moment.
Speak to him, and while he's emptying his rack, some guy, who does your guest gig with, so I can fan out on him? Who does your guest gig? What does that mean? Who does your guest gig with? Oh, who do you gig with? Who do you gig with? He's not my guest. He's my friend. Who do you gig with? So he can fan out. He plays with a band called Applehead, amongst others. But tell them your resume, and then they can fan out on you.
Hey, well,
he has his own YouTube channel, of course.
I do, and most of them, it has tons of JDs all over it. Ollie, that one's for you, man. Right in my hand here. You've seen this one before. So to answer the question, I played with a lot of people, but people are familiar with the fact that in 2019, I sat in with the heavy metal band Slaughter for a number of shows. We went all over the place. It was a lot of fun. I currently have a band called Applehead. I play with a Native American, also known as Indian band, called Broken Walls. I have a separate band called Innocent Monday, country guy named Ryan Weaver, and I do all kinds of bits and bobs otherwise.
There we go. There you have it. I'm just going to share. I've had a couple of pictures from John Cooper. This is his bass collection as of the current time. Lovely doglet in the window too. It's a nice Status S2 classic headless. There is, I guess that's a Marcus Miller sire. Don't know what the model is. Warwick thumb, of course, and the new purchase. John, I'm going to ask you, because I always ask people that have this, and I've never been able to make it work for me. Why have you got the ashtray over the neck pickups?
It's a good thumb
And
rest.
I reckon I know what the answer is, and I bet you do too.
I,
Explain it to me, because I know the famous person who generally, or two or three famous people that do it, but there's
right.
no, as far as I can tell, there's no benefit to it. And for me, it's just a huge chunk of metal getting in the way. Yeah, it looks kind of lovely, but I tried it for a while on my Marcus, and it was just like, this ain't happening. My hands move between the pickups too much, and that bit of metal's getting on my tits.
Now,
So,
if you're using a plectrum, you rest your hand on it, just like Lemmy did with the Rick.
okay. Very much like the Millennium Falcon on the table, John, by the way. I have a stormtrooper in the background there.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
We're kids of that age, you see.
we are.
Um, right, okay. That's that. So that can go. Very good. And there we are. And
We're mad.
I picked something very good. Some guy, yeah, done that. Oliver Bowen, you are the guy I go to when I want to hear a bass demo. Thank you. Your honesty is much appreciated.
There you go.
For Well, this is the thing. It's like I was at Nick Smith's funeral, and there were 3 or 4 manufacturers, bass builders, distributors, and all of them said, "Where have you been?" Because obviously they knew me from the magazine days, and I said, "I haven't been anywhere." I said, "I've had a YouTube channel running since August 2020, so it's 2 years before the magazine stopped." And I haven't moved. I'm still here doing the stuff. I still do the reviews. I just do it all through the channel. I just don't write for any magazines anymore.
Yep.
Oh, because I was the guy pretty much for 10 years on the mag. Stuff would either go direct to Joel, and then he'd farm it out to those of us who do the reviews, or it would come straight to me, or I would go to the distributors and pick stuff up, or I'd go to the retailers direct and collect stuff, review it, and bring it back. So they knew my face, knew my name.
Yep.
Kind of like, although I wouldn't put myself in this league because he's far and above me, Roger Newell, who was the bass reviewer for Guitarist for many years, and the main reviewer of stuff on Bassist for 6 years. Roger led the way. Roger was the guy I looked up to when I used to read reviews and what have you. And when I got offered the job with BGM, I went back and read all my copies of Bassist because I thought I have to reach that level. I was just coming in at the bottom. You know, BGM already had guys doing the reviews, editors wrote reviews as well. And I thought if I can tap into any style of writing that encapsulates a review, the positive points, negative points, gives you an overall view of what an instrument, an amp, or an effect pedal does. I want Roger's approach. That's how I want to be. And I kind of followed him. He was the Bible for me when I started doing all of that stuff. And then over time, I got very lucky that Steve Harvey sort of entrusted a lot of review stuff for me as a couple of the other writers left the mag. And that built up. Then I kind of fell down the pecking order when Nick Wells came in. He had his sort of preferred writers, and then the magazine stopped, and then Joel and Blaze took it over. And Joel just said, "Look, can I offer you as much of this work as possible? Because A, you're going to do it. B, I can trust you to do it. And C, I like how you write. So there's a load of stuff. Get on with it." And that was it, really. And then from that point on, between he and I, we built up the relationships with the retailers, distributors, manufacturers. And that's how we got to do things like the review days, where I'd go to PMT in Birmingham, or we'd go to Bass Gear in Twyford, Bass Direct. Did a couple of the other PMTs. We did Guitar in Epsom. And we did the gallery. And basically, I'd go in there for a day, review 10 basses, or chuck some amps and some effects in. And we'd do it all in a day. Photographer would be there. He'd take the photos. I'd do the review. Bang, done. Right, next one. And we just go through it that way. And that kind of worked. So it was a good way of building up relationships with all these people. And like I say, they don't see you. And we don't have a London bass show anymore. I know there's something about to come up in June, but that is not going to be what we used to have. I can assure you. We spent a lot of money and a lot of time making those things as good as we possibly could. So And I just don't believe that thing is going to be what they think it's going to be. Go on Bass Chat. They can't even keep up with their magazine distribution. There are people that have paid yearly subscriptions waiting on 3 packs of strings and the last 5 issues of the magazine. Yeah.
Lovely.
If you're going to do a magazine, do it properly. You know, we used to have issues like that, but hopefully more often than not, the different publishers would address those problems. This is mad. This is a magazine starting from scratch. They're less than now about a year and a half in to their publication, and there's already people who haven't had 4 or 5 issues, haven't had their free strings they were promised. You got to address all this, otherwise you won't last. There's a reason why there aren't many magazines anymore.
True.
The competition used to be huge, and that's what drove everyone on. There aren't many magazines now because they can't make the numbers work. So if you're going to do it, it really has to be something very good, or you won't last because people won't buy into it. Oh, that's my view anyway. Oliver Bowen, lovely roadie 1. I don't have any band at the moment. Okay.
I know
Plaza Llama.
too, man. I know where your JD is.
John Cooper's S2 looks very much like mine. Curly walnut. There's lots of walnut S2s. It's a good wood to work with, and it makes the status brightness slightly warmer. I've actually, a lot of the empathies came with a walnut tone block to sweeten up the maple and mahogany, and then the graphite neck and the phenolic fingerboard. The look is the benefit. Mr. Miller, great palm rest for slap and looks lovely. It does look lovely. Yeah, see, palm rest. See, the way I slap, I don't want my palm resting on a metal plate. I want to be getting as close to the edge of the fingerboard at the edge of the neck as exactly like the man's says. Bill Clements, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bill's saying hello to everyone.
Hello, Bill.
And Stacey's saying hello. Oliver Bowen, already missing it, and it hasn't even been a day.
To go to my channel, I've got 15 different JD videos on there you can watch to keep you busy for a little while.
Is this Oliver that is on Facebook that had the series? I didn't even know that was your surname.
He's a good lad.
Sorry.
Good lad.
He's a very good lad. You know, I follow you. I comment on your posts regularly. You're very welcome here, Ollie, anytime. If you need any help, any advice, you can ask me, you can ask Jamie.
Absolutely.
For those who don't know, Ollie's a young player.
Yep.
15, 16? Younger? Older? I don't know. He's just starting out. He's doing very well.
Yes,
He's
is.
Getting there. He's got the Mark King thing going on, and fixing his own basses, doing setups, working it all out for himself. Good for you, young man. Keep
Good
it
man.
going.
Yep.
If you want to do this as a career, you're doing the right things. If it's only ever going to be a hobby or a play at the weekend thing with your mates, that's no bad thing.
Yep.
You make it what you want it to be. If you want this to be your career, you go for it. Tap into people like me, Jamie, and a million of the other bass players that do it. Ask questions, learn stuff. You won't know all the answers. Sometimes we can advise. We might have been in the same position years before. We can give you our slant on things. Things have changed in the business, but
Quickly.
15, you're 15. So you are the age I was when I started. You are far and away flying compared to where I was at 15. But then we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have a lot of the things you kind of now have. You want to become a full-time luthier, well, you are doing the right things, mate. So keep going.
Yes.
Keep going.
I agree with that.
And you're learning all this stuff and making your own mistakes. So by the time you get to 20, you're going to be absolutely flying in terms of how to be a luthier. Good for you.
And don't worry about mistakes, because mistakes only make you better.
Yeah, that's how you learn it.
And it doesn't tear you apart, it makes you better.
Yeah. John Cooper, ashtray cover, more like a forearm rest. Exactly. When I tried experimenting with it, I didn't cut my arm, but I was scratching it up, and I just thought, this is crap. So that came back off, and it's never gone back on. All the gubbins from that bass, because I've got the John East Retro, Marcus Retro in mine. It's all in a padded gig bag in a drawer over there. And the ashtray cover's there as well. So, ashtray, 94 status is cherry body. That's right. Yeah. Walnut tone block, figured walnut top.
Lovely.
Can't beat it. You know,
Lovely.
it's all good. Anything with walnut, you can. So if you've got maple or you've got a bright piece of mahogany, a piece of walnut in there, whether it's a top, part of the neck, the tone block or whatever, just smooths out that harshness. And it kind of, like with my empathy, that walnut tone block takes away the hyper aggressive, spiky nature of the maple, the mahogany, the graphite. And it just sort of warms that tone up. Both of my large body alembics have got walnut tops, and it just sort of smooths out those transients from the other woods.
And the walnuts for JD.
Having said that, the alembic persuader I've got, which I got from his lordship, Mr. Smith, has got a koa top. And that seems to have quite a nice sort of fundamental tone to it as well. Stacey's congratulating Ollie. Very good. Richard, best of luck. Oh, sorry. See, when I scroll down this in StreamYard, as I scroll over it, the comments blew out and it says show or hide. I start reading it and realize I've got to show it on the screen and read it. Best of luck for the future, Ollie. Remember, hard work beats talent. It's true. Although a modicum of talent helps in certain situations, put it that way. We're coming up to 11 o'clock, but we're flying here, so we'll carry on a little bit.
Sure.
My other half's out for the evening, so we can go as long as we like, really.
Yeah.
So what's coming up for you this weekend, young man?
So there's a band that's from here, actually, but they play Britpop that they're going to be playing in town called the Ocean Blue.
Okay.
And they're from the 80s.
Right.
But their sound is pure 80s Britpop. So.
Okay. I'm going to correct you.
Go ahead.
Britpop is from the 90s, and it kind of sits from about 92 to 96. So if you're talking about 80s Britpop, you just call it pop from Britain. Britpop was actually like a proper movement. So you're talking Oasis, Blur, Ocean Colour Scene, Pulp. God, there were millions of these bands. Suede.
Right.
I mean, I did a tribute to it back in 1999. The band was called The Dogs. Not Doodahs, but you can imagine the word begins with B, ends in S. And sounds like bullhooks. Yeah, bullhooks. And that was a Britpop tribute. And we were doing, I knew songs, but I didn't know the bands that wrote them.
Right.
Because when Britpop happened, it was like an avalanche. There was just this ton of material from all these bands. And when Britpop finished, so did the bands.
Of course.
Pretty much. Loads of them just went straight down the dumper. But
Fair
if
enough.
you say 80s Britpop, that suddenly people are like, well, do you mean Britpop, which is mid 90s?
Yep.
Or do you mean stuff from the 80s? So just say pop, British pop from the 80s.
British. Okay, good. I'll take that.
All right.
Yep. Because
You just get the Brits confused, and it's like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right. We just have to. No, but it's I would call it jangle pop.
Right. So that's 90s.
Well, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, but you're talking from the 80s. Are you talking stuff like the Cure and the Smiths?
So we're talking like almost like new wave, only without the synths.
That's indie pop.
Okay.
Because those bands were signed on independent record labels.
Well, this one was on Sire, so this was actually
independent record label. Yeah.
Yeah. Over here, Sire was purchased by, I think, Warner Brothers. So it's
all of those labels that were indie labels in the 80s got bought up by majors once the acts got big.
There you go. So that's what
tends to happen.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing. So I think it'll be a Curry and that.
That's all right. That's good in my book.
Good Friday evening.
Yeah. Richard Fitton, very nice, John. Mine is a later one from 2007, which also has the walnut tone block. Excellent. It was a stock bass from Rob, which replaced two King bass custom orders, which I never got along with. tell you, I've said it before. I've said it before. The King bass was built for Mark King.
Only.
It's what he wanted. And the amount of people I know who've bought them, especially when they came out, don't even get me started on the number of people that were on the Level 42 Web Digest who went out and bought Mark King basses, had never picked up a bass in their life, and struggled to get along with them, couldn't play them, got deterred by them. It was built for him. And with the greatest of respect, Mark knows I love him. We speak regularly on WhatsApp. A King bass to me always feels like a rich man's toy. That's not a slight on Mark or the way he designed. It was built for how he wanted his bass to be. It don't work for me. So what you're saying, Richard, I've heard, when people say, "Oh, I've ordered a King bass," and then they never got along with it. I've heard that so many times, and never did I hear it more than in like the first 4 years after they came out, because people were buying them hand over fist.
Right.
Because it was the first sort of signature model for a while since Mark had he didn't retire, but he kind of semi-retired from 94 up to 98.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a new thing. The only thing that came out was the Fender, and they were fairly dreadful.
Horrible.
And then he went for the GB stuff, and then that stopped. So for Status to do a King bass, that was the first Status Mark King endorsement in terms of a bass with his name on it. All the other ones had their own name. And but you'd see people buying these things, and within 2 months they were up for sale. And it was like,
Yep.
You've just spent $2,500 on a King bass. Why? Oh, I didn't get on with it. I didn't like it, or it didn't feel right, or it didn't sound right. It's like, but you would have known that before you bought it, or before you ordered it. You would have known that sound maybe wasn't what. And lots of people were buying them and just go, I can't get enough bottom end out of it. Well, you can if you EQ it right gauge strings, work the pickups to their advantage. Very often on my my empathy, I'm more biased towards the neck pickup than the back. I just go for a bit more of that, and gives it more of that kind of low mid thump, as opposed to too much sizzle.
I tried one once. Looked like a ukulele on me.
I tried Alex Carter's one. He bought like an aqua one with the dolphin LEDs, and I remember playing it. He said, "What do you think?" And I went, "I don't like it. I just don't." He said, "What don't you like?" I said, "I don't like the body shape. I prefer the classic shape."
Yeah.
I said, it just feels like a rich man's toy, which to a certain degree, with the greatest of respect, that's exactly what it is.
It is.
Some people can make it work for them. I know I've got one here. It's not part of my collection, but it's part of someone else's collection, which I'm going to be doing demos and reviews and what have you with, but it's not mine. So I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for it. But it's here. That's a whole nother story that I'll divulge another day. So you will see a King bass here on the channel at some point.
It's different than these guys.
Yeah, totally. But then, you see, you go through the whole Mark's collection thing,
right?
And he kept saying, "Well, I like bigger body bass, and I like a bit, and I have it, and I need a bigger body bass." So that's the JD to the Status to the Alembics. Full stop. 1994 comes back playing Fenders,
Right.
and then obviously upgraded to the GB Spitfire. And then you get the whole, well, I didn't want a big body bass, and you get a small body King bass. And then what's the next thing? The King bass 2 with a big fat body headstock. It's like, right, so what about 2001 where you didn't want a big body bass? What's changed? Oh, well, I've eaten a few pizzas and I've got to cover the gut up. And then we move along to like the T-basses and stuff. So the T-bass was nothing really to do with Mark. That was a model. I mean, God, I've got one of the originals there, 1995. The T-bass was a reintroduction of the old T-bass, but with a graphite neck. But they came out in 2009. He didn't start playing them till 2017.
And now
And that was because of Gizmodrome, and also the fact that they kind of got to the end of the whole King Base life cycle, and it was like, well, what other model have you got? And well, there's the T-Base. Oh, well, we'll go with that then. So headstock, Jazz and P pickup, off we go. And now, exactly, back round to a big body bass. How about that?
he's back to the day.
So Mark's a creature of just using what he wants to use, and there's no sense in what he said in the thing. He just uses what he wants when he wants and what he likes, and that's. But for people like me who followed that whole thing, I just laugh when you get the guys who buy all these things and they follow the trend, and it's like, well, he's using that, so I'm going to buy that, and then he changes amp, so I'm going to have that, and then he's got rid of that amp and he's gone for that, so I'll buy that, and then he's got rid of the TC Electronic G Major, and now he's got pedals, so I'll get rid of that, and then you're constantly playing catch up,
You have to go all
chasing
the
your
way
tail.
back to the Yamaha 1010 chorus.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's have a look here. Richard, I also have the penultimate King bass Mark II ever made. Very good. And a Stealth 2. You've got some lovely basses there, Richard. Lovely job. Cooper's plays what you would call rubbish. I don't know who Coopers are. Didn't know that. Ollie, I had an old Washburn status issue, did, and about a month into owning it, the fingerboard started to lift and fall off.
Yep, every time.
Yep. Washburn status, for all of its status elements, is not status, whichever way you cut it.
Not even close.
It's basically hardware, pickups, and some electronics, and the headpiece, and that's it. It's all made at Washburn's factories. Um,
Japan.
you can't wrap it any differently. It's just not a status.
Mm.
Hang on, I struggle to play any bass that doesn't a funk groove, aka that groove that's carved out of the front of the body on Supernatural Series 2s. You'll learn over time. Don't worry about that.
Don't
You'll
worry.
find different. I mean, Ollie, I'm just going to lift the camera. Sorry if I make anyone feel a bit sick. Ollie, I have to contend with all of this, mate. And that's not everything. So,
Yep.
You get used to playing different basses and taking each one on its merits.
Right.
And they all play different. They all sound different. They all do different things, and they can't all be the same. But as a working player, I need these sounds. I need to be able to pick and choose as I go for different projects. So playing a Spectre is not like playing a Kubicki, and that's not like playing a Stingray, and that's not like playing a GB or an Aria or a Lakeland or a take your pick. They're all different, and you get doing reviews, doing the YouTube channel, you get used to all the different things. Really, you do, and every time I pick up a different bass, like picking up a different sort of an old friend, because a lot of these basses I've done hundreds of gigs with, so I know. And Nick would have been the same. You're the same. We have years of experience to draw on. The things that work for you and the things that don't. And
Oh yeah.
some basses I might love, and Jamie will go, "No, I had one of them. It's horrible." Like I had a JD Series 2, just did not work for me. The neck was like a banana. It had splits. It was developing all sorts of issues. Couldn't
Yep.
get on with it.
So
Couldn't get on with it.
the key to this whole thing, Ollie, for you, is that every company that makes a guitar, regardless of what it is, there will be some that will be absolutely amazing, and some that will be absolute dogs. Every
Yep.
company, doesn't matter who it is or what they do or how many or how few they put out, there will be a percentage of them that will be just oh, and then you'll have some that ooh, go, because there are some that just don't make it. It's wood or graphite in the case of status, but or modulus and whatnot. But every company has dogs, and
That's
when
true.
you go in recognizing that, not everyone's going to be a gem. I'll give you an example. I've had 175 Rickenbackers, okay, over my lifetime, and there's 5 of them sitting over there right now. Not all of them are great. And the reason why I didn't keep them all, I'd rotate them through, is because I was looking for something, or it was just it was just absolute rubbish. And so out it went.
And so, anything, Fenders, even these. I mean, everybody has a moment, and there's always one or two that just kind of make you shake your head. So the key to it is when you find what you like, find a good one. And then if you need other sounds, for example, what would be the logistics for everybody in, let's say, just in theory? If you're playing about, you need a precision, a jazz, a music man, a Gibson EBO if you want the big muddy thing, those and a Stingray and a Rick. So if you have those things, if I didn't say that already, if you have those things, everything else is an adaptation of one of those. And you could throw in a solicitor for Alembic because they did something different. But if you look at those for what they are, the rest of everything else is either a copy or someone making something they say could be better, and they make enhancements or they add stuff to it that changes it for the better. What'd you say, Mike?
The only things I'd add to that list would be have a fretless, but maybe have a cheap one, because unless you're a very, very busy fretless player, you're
Right.
probably not going to get a. I've been playing 30 years. Yeah, 30 years this year. I've not done one gig or one session on fretless. But having said that, I don't do a huge amount of recording work. But for that 30 years, to be fair, fretless hasn't been in fashion. Yet, had I been a pro player in the 80s, I probably would have done loads of fretless gigs and sessions. But it just isn't a thing. But so having a fretless in your armory isn't a bad thing, but I wouldn't invest a huge amount of money in it. I just have something that you got there that if you needed to go and do a fretless session or a gig, you've got it. And the other thing would be, well, actually, probably another two things would be a semi-acoustic bass, like a Washburn or an Ibanez of some sort, or a Yamaha. And then if you're going to go down this route, an upright.
Right. If you're going to go all the way there, go all the way there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Um, Looking back now, piece of advice that I would give myself 30 years ago: start learning upright, because it would open up a load of extra work to me. I could do it now, but I'm not in anything that needs me to be playing upright. And I'm 53. Do I really want to put in loads and loads of work and effort and practice on something that I've never done before? I'm trying to run a YouTube channel. I've got gigs coming in left, right, and center. I just don't have the time to do it and do it really well. If someone asked me to do an upright gig and I couldn't do it, I'd rather pass the work to a friend that I know does do it. Um, and now that may be kind of blinker. People might go, well, why don't you spend a year learning it? Have my life, have my day-to-day comings and goings, and getting ready for gigs, and getting the dogs walked, and doing a million and one other things, and doing the YouTube channel. There are not the hours in the day. I struggle to get everything done as it is. Anyone that follows the channel over the past sort of 2 years will know. You know, there's a very nice
This
fresh
one's
JD there.
this
Yeah,
Ollie, since you said it. Okay. Here's your JD Series 3 fretless.
it's a
Okay.
nice color.
You know,
Very
it's,
nice color.
yeah, the crazy thing, when they sent it to me, Toby sent me a pair of pink sunglasses with it.
Quite. It should have been darker sunglasses. Tone it down a bit. Yeah. Some guy. Most famous players play one bass. Do you mean one brand or just one instrument? No, okay. Jacko's very famous for playing his fretless jazz, but he did actually play some other ones,
He played one of them.
and played a JD. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Um, there are very few players that are like a Brian May, that have just used one bass. I mean, Jameson, yeah, fine, okay.
Sure.
McCartney's gone through a whole bunch.
First,
Entwistle went through loads, all sorts. Richard, do you ever play precisions? Yes, I do. I play in Queen tribute, so I have to. I don't have a choice. I've got three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 precisions here, Richard. You've had several in the past, but never got on with them. I never used to. I used to be quite pig-headed that I only wanted active basses. Didn't particularly get on with jazz styling, and I still don't. I get on better with a precision body than I do a jazz body. But there comes a point where certain gigs need it, or certain recordings. And I used to play in a Green Day tribute, and
yeah.
at the time I didn't have I didn't have a Precision at all. Well, I had a Fender Precision. Sorry, I keep standing on my headphone lead. I had the Fender Precision Lite, but that wasn't going to be roadworthy enough, chunky enough, or have the tone that I needed for the Green Day thing. So I went precision bass shopping and couldn't really find what I wanted and couldn't find any Mike Dirnt models. So this was 2005 in the shops. I ended up buying one from Thomann. Still got it. Nothing sounds like it. It's got a 59 custom P pickup. You may have read the thread on Bass Chat where someone was asking about it. They want one of those pickups to put in a cheaper Squire. Well, Fender don't make a 59 custom P like that to buy. You have to buy the bass. So people were suggesting alternatives. It's an amazing sounding pickup. None of my other Precisions sound remotely like that bass. And even the 70s FSR, which I use as the spare bass for the Queen shows, huge, low, grindy mids. It's still not the same as the Mike Dirnt. The Mike Dirnt just has a tone of its own, which is why I won't shift it. And at the moment, it's actually got flats on it, which actually work really well. But if I had to do a Green Day gig, but I haven't done one since 2008, so I doubt it, you'd sling a set of Rote Sound round wounds on it.
I'd be
Cool.
that gig.
Say that again.
I'd be curious to hear you playing on the Queen gig, playing the Attitude bass.
Yeah. Oh yes, that'd be great. Well, the thing is, for the Queen show, I used the black one, which is just a standard Mexican £500 P bass.
Yep.
And then I upgraded the pickup, the bridge, hardware, machine heads, but it has a very smoother tone than the FSR. The FSR is like a punk bass. It's like really wants to chew your face off. The black one just sits so like the older Queen tunes that are far more mellow. There's no high apart from Best Friend.
Yeah,
that's the black one is what I use predominantly for the Queen shows, but the FSR is there if I need it. So, right, rest of your message. I had several in the past, but never got on with them. Okay, I've always used jazzes in the tribute show. Okay, I've come around to the jazz thing. Let's see, how many have I got here at the moment? So my Ibanez ATK does an amazing jazz tone. Lakeland 4464 is a PJ area. I've got the Lodestone with the Sims super quads in, so that does a jazz. That's 1, 2. Betsy is my favourite jazz at the moment. It's 3. 3 T bass, 4. I've got a bass collection fretless over there. It's 5, and then there's the Marcus. Where's my Marcus? Oh, it's in gig bag. So 6, 7 jazzes. For someone who isn't a huge fan of jazzes, I kind of go through my periods, as we all do, where you suddenly think, oh, jazz is everything. And then you get in another, and no, it's not the right bass. This is why I have the basses, because you can take a certain bass out in a gig and go, oh, I've got the wrong bass today. So next time you do that gig, you remember, right, I need that for that gig.
It's obvious. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it is. You just plug a thing in, 3 songs in, you go, I've got the right bass tonight, but you didn't know. Ollie, I made my own rendition of an Alembic. I know, I saw. I've recently defretted. It sounds fantastic. Good for you. Very much like a Pangborn. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Some guy, Mike needs all those basses because he's a chameleon. Exactly. The way I've explained it or described it in the past is, a lot of these basses got picked up on the journey. So up until about 2001, I had the pink Kabiki, which was still fretted. I had Mark King's old Stingray 4, and I had the JD and my Fender Precision Light. So I had 4 basses. And then I chose to go down the status path. I then bought actually about 6 months before 9/11, I found a Stingray 5 with a graphite neck. I put a deposit down, I paid that bass off, and I picked that bass up the same week of 9/11. I then got rid of the JD. I had the Kabiki defretted, and I sold the Mark King Stingray. I then bought Stuart Clayton's old Series 2000 Status. I bought the Status Empathy, the red one. I bought the T bass, and I'd had another T bass that I bought in 2000. So suddenly there was like all these comings and goings. And then I settled on kind of the basses I wanted. Then I bought the GB Rumor, which I had made for me. And then one by one, I was doing projects, depping, recording where I needed certain things. So I needed the Green Day bass for the Green Day band. I did a recording session where I had to have a Fender Jazz and I wanted a Marcus Jazz. So that got bought. And then I bought an Aria and sold that on. I wanted a Spectre and picked that up. I had the old Stingray, got rid of that, bought another one in 2007. And it just becomes, you find the things that you want and the things that maybe some things you'll buy as investments. And I always knew the basses that I wanted in my collection. So I'd find as many examples of one as I could. If I could try them all within a small space of time so that I could then pick one and go, right, I want that one. With the Status 2000s, like I said earlier, at one point I had 5. So that would have been May, June 2002. I had 5 Status 2000s. None of them sounded the same. And I kept the one that I've got, which is Stuart's one. The others all got sold on.
Yep.
And then once you've got the tools for doing the bulk of your jobs, then things come along that you want, like the alembics and the Dingwall. And I went through a period of buying lodestones and wanted a few more GBs, and you suddenly just pick these things up. And you got to remember, a lot of this stuff I bought 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, prices weren't what they are now.
Not at all.
My alembics have trebled since I bought them.
Yep.
So my GBs are probably in that period where, heaven forbid, when Bernie pops off this mortal coil, which hopefully won't be for many, many years yet, you'll probably find they start to go up, like the Wells did after Pete and Ian had gone, and then Justin Chancellor comes along, starts using them, and they go through the roof. So you never know how these things are going to pan out.
Sure.
Ollie, you're making me jealous about the glasses. Ha! Some guy, that's how you work. Yeah, exactly. I would love to be able to do all the work I've ever done with one bass, but it couldn't have been done. It really couldn't have been done. If I didn't have the precision, I couldn't have done the Green Day thing. I could have tried, but it would have looked wrong, would have sounded wrong. But the Mike Dirnt precision would not have worked in my old covers band that I did 17 years of gigging with. Just wouldn't have worked. You could use a precision in Uncle Funk, but I want more guts, I want more power, I want more finesse, I want more detail. Sometimes you go to certain gigs and someone will be playing a precision and you think, that just sounds fantastic. What a precision tone. You go and buy a precision, go and use it on your own gig and it sounds clunky and overblown and fat and horrible, and you just go, that's not the... Then you'll go and pick up another precision and it'll sound weedy and metallic and just like sound like someone banging 2 old dustbin lids together, clang, clang, and it's like, that's not the... But every bass, you could have 10 precisions, they're all going to sound different. You have to take each bass on its merits, and that's kind of what I've done here. I've tried to pick out the best examples I could find at any one time. Like my Spectre, I wanted a Spectre for years, realized I probably wasn't going to get an NS2
till now.
You know it's going to change.
So
I was quite happy to go for the LX, and then something happened in, now we're talking here. April. Actually, it was a 2-pronged thing. I'm trying to get the dates right. So April 2008, Stuart Spector was over here in the UK, and he told the distributors, who I think might have been Reverb at the time, not Reverb the auction site, Reverb the chain of stores, told them they had to start shifting basses out the channel to make room for the new stuff coming through. About 4 months later, I'm trying to get this right, I went in a Reverb in Birmingham because I went to see my mate Jimmy, and they had some NS2s, NS4s, and some Euros, and I played a couple of Euros, and I thought, that's really good. Played a couple of NS2s. I couldn't really tell too much difference between that and the Euros. I played a couple of NS4s and didn't like them. So I thought, right, okay, let's make my mind up. So it's got to be an NS2 or a Euro. Keep your eyes open. In late July, early August of 2008, what Stuart Spector had said a couple of months previous suddenly came into effect. So Reverb had tons of Spectre in their stores. They all got shifted. I'm going to give the game away if I ever try. My Spectre Euro 4 cost me 500 quid, £499.99 and £10 shipping. And what I should have done had I been clever was bought 10 of the buggers, stored them away. I could sell them now and they'd be 1,500 quid each. I didn't do it. I just bought the one. But that was bought on a whim because I'd always wanted a Spectre. I love the Spectre sound. I couldn't justify spending 3, 4, 5 grand on an NS2 when a Euro 4 is going to do 85 to 90% of that tone. And so that's what I went with. And, but again, that wasn't bought for a purpose. That was just a whim that I'd always wanted a Spectre in my collection. And the thing that made me want a Spectre was I saw Kasim Sultan play with Hall & Oates on the Change of Season tour in 1990 in Bournemouth. And I'd heard a recording on Radio 1 of them playing at Tanner Country Club 3 months earlier. And the tone was out of this world. And it was the only Hall & Oates tour that T-Bone Walk didn't do. A huge T-Bone fan. Massive. Check him out, kids. Ollie, you want to see a great bass player? Check out Hall & Oates 85 Liberty statue concert on Independence Day. Hall & Oates at the Apollo 85. Live Aid 85.
Yep.
H2O Tour 83. Japan 88. The man was immense. Amazing guitar player. Amazing bass player. Amazing producer. Just absolutely outstanding. Just like you, just anyway, he died in 2010, sadly. And Kasim Sultan's bass tone. Oh my Lord, I was just floored beyond belief. Richard, my partner's just about, dogs are going to go nuts. Yes, buying bass is a journey. They're tools for doing the different jobs we do. Exactly. You have a Quartz Spacebass 5 in the boot of the car for teaching duties. Lightweight, compact, and headless. There you go.
Good.
Ollie, the amount of basses you need is you current amount plus one. Always, there's always room for more. Always.
Oh, don't get me started. There are 3.
You, me, and 2 or 3 other people we know or have known.
This is look, Ollie. Let me tell you something, dude. 3 in the wings. I'm on 3.
Your sound keeps dropping out there, by the way.
I got because I'm on the speaker, but I've got 3 JDs sitting in the wings when I'm ready.
Exactly. There you go. You live by. Some guy, he said, I have all kinds of instruments for all kinds of reasons. There you go. Excellent. I'm just going to shut my door for a minute. Just bear with me a moment.
This is the reason why we all have instruments too, because you have to feel what you like and you want it.
That's right. We are coming up on 11:30. I'm going to let you guys, for those in the UK, let you head off to your beds. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for your interaction tonight. You've been fabulous. Well done. Checks in the post.
Always good.
We will get this. We'll get the podcast. That's the word I'm looking for. We'll get this sorted out. Don't worry.
No
Just
worries.
clearing the decks at the moment.
No worries.
I'll let you go and do your thing. I'll catch up with you in the next few days. Have a good
Cool.
week.
Cheers,
catch
all.
you next week. Well done,
Yeah.
sir. Good
Yes,
job.
sir.
And there he goes. So thank you, everyone. Fabulous. What a turnout. Great chat as well. Thank you for all the comments, questions, all the new subscribers. We've had 3 new subscribers while we've been on here. I don't know if they're watching the live chat or if they've just watched other videos. So thank you very much. Thank you for getting on the bus. Good night, John. Good night, Patrick. Thank you, Ollie. Don't worry. You join in whenever you wish. All the live chats from this channel are up on the channel. So this is number 108. There's plenty of good information there. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for all your input. Some guy, thank you for yours as well. Thank you, everyone, for getting involved tonight. Very much appreciated. We'll be back here next Tuesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock UK time. There'll be some long form content up tomorrow, Gig Vlog 4. I will have Gig Vlog 5, maybe even 6 over the weekend as well. I want to get the video up with the Bootsy bass and the strap. That should be up maybe Thursday or Friday. I've got Uncle Funk's Decades of Dance this Saturday, so there'll be a Gig Vlog for that. Might be an impromptu live chat as well from the venue in Bishop Stortford. And that's everything for now. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Take care. Have a great week. Thank you for all the likes, subscriptions, thumbs ups, comments, shares. Fabulous. Can't do it without you. You're the best. Well done. Oh, take your mic away. Thank you very much. And I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Have a great week. Take it easy.